Dottie, you're okay. Dottie, you're okay to go? Dottie Durst is our recording secretary this evening.
The recording is going.
Okay.
Yep, all set to go. All set
Okay,
to
thank
go.
you. Thank you. We'll call to order this meeting of the Woodstock Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Agency, the meeting for December 1st, 2025 at 7:05 p.m. And we'll start with a roll call.
Marla Butts.
Kathleen
Beasley.
Whoop, sorry.
Bill Rowinski. I see Kathy there.
I'm here. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. And I don't see Mark yet. So we'll proceed. Appointment of alternates is not necessary. We don't have any actions on the meetings of previous minutes of previous meeting. Regular meeting of November 3rd, 2025. Is there any modification or corrections that we should be considering?
Marla Butts.
Speaking.
One
Correction on page 3, item D, the first item D, 0 Hiawatha Heights. Third line down should read Mr. Priest, Preece,
Yeah.
as opposed to Priest.
Very
Are
true.
there any other
That's all I can-
corrections? I didn't find anything myself other than that particular one.
I move to accept the minutes of the November 3rd, 2025 meeting as, with an amendment as noted
I'll
on
second that.
page 2.
Okay, we have a motion by Marla Butts, seconded by Kathy Barrett to approve the minutes from the November 3rd, 2025 regular wetlands meeting with the one correction. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? The motion passes. Moving on now to citizens' comments, and this time is for something brief in nature that someone would like to comment on that is not already on the agenda. Is there anyone who would like to address the agency at this point?
Bill Marla Butts speaking. I have one correction on the agenda under pending applications. Item A,
Yep.
state the application number as 102501, and it should be 92504.
Oh,
And all files related to 102501 filed with the agenda, posted with the agenda, should also read as 92504. Remember, the 102501 was the renewal of the parking lot for the academy at their North Campus.
Okay, yep. Okay, and hearing no citizens wishing to comment at this point, we'll go on to pending application. Application 9-25-04, 27 Loyola Road, map 6393, block 67, land unit 96, John Napolitano, proposed repair of lakefront wall. Do we have any new information, John Guskowski?
Yes, Mr. Napolitano and his
I'm online.
technical support.
Hi, everybody.
Okay.
It's John Napolitano. I'm online.
Okay,
He and I believe Mr. Riley, who is his engineer or technical support,
Yep.
submitted some additional a detail of the stacking and backfilling of the wall. And I'd also note, Mr. Chairman, that Mark Parker has joined us.
Okay, Mark Parker is joined at 7:09 PM. Okay, so
I've put the additional piece of documentation on the screen.
That was provided by me, Aaron Leclerc.
Oh, Mr.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah. Let me rotate.
Aaron Leclerc is the mason that's working on the wall, is going to install the wall for me. Take the wall down and reinstall it. So I asked Aaron to join us in the meeting. I'm here.
Good.
So the note on the plan of the details submitted said we will be installing silt barrier on shoreline while work is performed. No machinery will be used in a shoreline, only used above grade. Wall would be dismantled and reinstalled properly. Wall is significantly smaller than diagram showed. Construction is a 3-day job.
Yes.
Yeah,
And the other picture, you can see the size of the wall. That's a standard diagram when you take the diagram. But you can see the height of the wall from right there. There's the wall. And you can see
How tall is that?
What we're taking down and reinstalling.
How tall is that?
It's 4.5 feet, 3 feet
Okay.
the most. Yeah, 36 inches. And it's already there, and we're not adding any more material. We're using just fixing it. As you can see that it opened up space and time, and it's leaning into the lake. So we want to take it down and reinstall it and make it look pretty.
Have you received permission from the Quonset Lake Taxing District that owns the lake bottom?
Yes,
Where is that?
I don't have the permission is from you, from the inland wetlands. The Quonset Lake requires us to get inland wetlands. They don't have any permission slips to do anything, to do any work, and we're not in the water because the water already is 15 feet from that wall.
Yeah, but that's not the permanent water.
Excuse me?
That's not the permanent water line. The high water mark for the lake is at the base of the wall. So while your work is occurring in the dry, the wall actually is at the limits of the lake. So the Lake Association has said to you what?
Just get an inland wetlands permit.
Okay. Did they put that to you in writing? Or was that a verbal?
I don't think they've ever did that to anybody in the history that I've been here at the lake.
Okay.
I don't think you've seen that in any of your documentation before.
Nope, and not from Quonset. So,
no.
Bill, I think we need to send out some kind of notification to the 3 taxing districts who own these lake bottoms, that they need to grant their approval for this work as part of, not rely on us, but they have to say it's okay with them, and then we can move forward. But since they've never done this before and it appears to be a disconnect with the Lake Association, I don't think that's going to be critical as long as the wall is going in the exact place that it was before and not being modified in any way.
But
we have.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Kathy.
I'm just a little confused because it looks to me like the picture of that we're looking at of the wall has 3 or 4 blocks with then a cap block, but the new picture that was submitted has like a zillion. I was going to count them, but there's like at least 24.
It's just a diagram for reference as far as what I would be doing behind the wall.
That was my
question. The fabric and the drainage. It's just a generalized diagram.
So it'll still just be the 3 or 4, however many there are now, that'll be.
It's going to be exactly the way it is right now, except built properly.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So just for the record, we have received at least copies of emails from the Quasit Lake Association that they approved the construction. So I don't know if you have different leadership there now or what what has what has happened, but usually we do have requested and received at least an email, copy of an email from them that they've approved the work. Because the bed of the lake is their property.
Well, yes, well, you requested that from them? I've been here for 50 years and this is the first I'm hearing of that. But have you requested that from them or I have to request that from them?
You would have to request that from them.
Okay, so I'll do that tomorrow. And I'll have them send you in an email. That's what you need.
What is your anticipated start of construction?
As soon as possible, while the water is down and the ground is not frozen.
Okay, so we're kind of at a critical point at this point,
Yes.
Bill. We're also at our statutory limit.
Yeah.
Because this application was received at the October meeting. We're now 60 days in. We have to take an action on the application.
Okay. From the minutes of the last meeting, it says we tabled the application. Was that just for action for that evening?
Yes.
Okay.
It was
All
to
right.
get the additional information, if I recall correctly.
Right.
We wanted
Okay.
additional detail.
Yep.
And so he has provided some additional detail. Even and he has stated that the wall will be no taller. I'm assuming it's not going to be any taller than 48 inches. Is that
Just
correct?
Like the picture, just like the picture that's there. We're not adding
I
any
don't
more
know.
blocks. We're not adding
Yeah, but I
any
don't know
more
how tall
blocks.
that. I don't know how tall that is because there's no measuring of that. A block
So
can look
total-
differently.
Total height from the blocks that are below grade to the caps is no larger than 36 inches.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because if it was exceeding, like 6 feet, it would need a building permit. It would need an engineer. Clearly, would need an engineered design without a doubt. But it's not It's not taller than 6 feet. As long as that verification that it's not going to exceed 30. You're saying it's 36 inches tall. So,
Yeah,
Bill,
no-
I think
It won't exceed 36 inches. The blocks are 6 inches apiece. There's 4 courses. That's 24 inches and then 4 inches for the cap. So you're at 28 inches. No larger
right,
than
and then
30.
you got your footings, which have another couple of blocks below grade, correct?
It's 1 block lower than what you see right there. So there'll be 4 blocks total plus a cap.
Okay.
That's
All right, so
28,
one block
28
is-
inches, 30 inches max.
Got it. Stu, how do you feel about this? Because you've had concerns about walls and.
Well, I think,
oh,
go ahead, Stuart.
my only question would be, what's the footing? If it's just a native material, or is it imported gravel, or?
No,
Is
I'm expecting to put 1 inch crushed stone,
how deep?
12 inches,
Okay, and
compacted, and then the first course of block.
will there be
Okay.
any drainage behind it?
Yes, there'll be a drainage pipe, and then there'll be geofabric in between the blocks going into the material in the back.
Sounds good.
And the back of the wall will be 3/4 crushed stone for drainage,
Good.
12 inches.
So
That should last.
yeah, Bill Rowinski, I don't have any problem with going forward with this pending the receipt of a email or some sort of note from the Lake Association. I think Andre Bissett.
I will get that note. I will get that note tomorrow.
Yep.
But I would also like, I forget who mentioned it, that to work with all the districts here in Woodstock, because this is the first that I even heard of that. And I've been here for all my life, and I put in, this is my second wall or whatever, and it never had any requirement of that, any notification. But I know it's 2025, but I don't even know if our association knows about it.
Okay, so I will move to approve application 09-25-04, 27 Loyola Road, map 6393, block 65, lot 96, for the proposed repair of lakefront wall on the condition that no work begin until the wetlands agent receives notification from the Lake Association that finds the proposed construction acceptable and that the wall not exceed 36 inches in total height.
I'll second that motion.
I have a question. I'm looking at, am I looking at the wrong agenda? I'm seeing application 10-25-01.
That's an error, Mark. There was a correction.
Oh, there was a correct. Okay, what is it really?
09-25-04.
04. Oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't. I missed that. Huh.
Now, who would I have to have send that in? The president of the company, the secretary of the company, the treasurer of the company, or any of the officers of the company?
I would think any of the officers. Yeah.
Okay, I'll address that. I'll send an email out tomorrow to them.
I think we have had emails from Andre Bissett in the past.
Yeah, that's Andre. Yeah, I know Andre. Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion from Marla Butts, seconded by Stuart Peasley, to approve application 09-24-04, 27 Loyola Road for proposed repair of lakefront wall. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah.
Yes, there were.
I have
Excuse me.
Oh, go ahead, Marla, you on the phone?
I wanted to say there were conditions on that motion. The conditions were that no construction shall begin until the wetlands agent receives notification from the Lake Association that the construction is found acceptable to them, and that, what was the second one? That this wall not be any higher than 36 inches.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
I have a question for maybe discussion. Maybe I've been sleeping. I don't know, but I noticed now the wall goes around in front of that tree, and it looks to me like it just stops. Is that where?
Because it goes to the other person's property.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Sorry. Just I apologize. So the wall that you're going to be redoing goes up to that wall. Is that wall similar to yours?
No, his is made of stone and cement. Or
Okay.
whatever. Mine is blocked, so we're just taking down our blocks and reinstalling them
Right.
straight.
I
We're not
guess I was
touching
just
his at
looking
all.
at it and wondering if his was going to affect yours. I'm sorry. I
No.
guess I just
There's a
woke
seam.
up.
There's a seam there.
No, both of the walls are not connected. There's a cold joint there.
Okay. All right. Just sorry. Just wondering. Thank you, Mr. Napolitano.
And Aaron is the mason that's going to do the work. Aaron Leclerc.
Aaron. Okay. Thank you, Aaron.
You're welcome. I also did the
Bill-
work at Robert Smith's house.
The next house over? Wow.
Last year.
Okay.
Bill, if I could make a comment,
Yep.
that the question of why we're asking for approvals from the Lake Association says that as we have found that there have been times where there's been arguments about whether or not the walls were installed at the same location or whether they've expanded into the lake. We want to make sure that Lake Associations know what plans we have so that if they have a comment on it, they can address it to us, or they can say, look, we need to see the plans. So we want to avoid any conflict between what we do and what the Lake Associations feel is acceptable. And they could easily say to us, it's fine with us as long as it's fine with you, and that's okay. But if comes a time when they're not fine with it, that they have a concern because there's a disagreement over something, then we need to know that.
I will give them the same documentation I gave you and let them send you an email.
Send it to John,
Yep,
our wetlands agent.
yep, I will do that.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? The motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Napolitano.
Okay, thank you, everybody, and have a nice holiday.
You
You
too.
too.
Yep,
Thank
thank you. You too.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
All right,
Thank you, Aaron.
Bye, Aaron.
Bye, John.
Moving on to application 10-25-070, Hiawatha Heights, map 7272, block 34 rather, lot 0D1, Raymond Priest Shoreline Block Wall. Is Mr. Priest here or anybody representing him?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, I
Mr. Priest,
believe
you want
there's
to
a
describe, do you want to describe the additional information
Oh.
that you provided?
Yes. First, I did send an email. Kelly Billings is the chairperson of the water. I'm not sure where her title is, but she's in charge of the water. Chairperson of some commission, but she's the one that basically gave me the preliminary approval of this wall, contingent on approval from you guys. But I sent that, it's in there somewhere. She sent me an email asking if I got approval from you first. So she is waiting on that. The other thing is, as far as the blocks themselves, I'm putting crushed stone in the holes, prevent water accumulation and stuff. The page before that, you'll see. Yeah, they're right here. I'll be filling those with crushed stone. It'll keep the water from accumulating, keep it from expanding, until keep the block from ever cracking or breaking. The next page has the diagram. It's basically, they only require a 4-inch by about 12-inch footing for this size wall because it's so small. I'm actually going 6 inches by 16 inches. I'm using a 12-inch block rather than to make it more stable. A wall, easily I could get away with a narrower block. So here I'm going with a full 12-inch block, going with a 16-inch footing or foundation, using crushed stone compacted, going 6 inches deep, putting a crushed stone behind it, the wall. I have a fabric between the dirt and the block from anything going through to block it. I'm not holding back any dirt. All I'm doing is preventing the water from eroding any further onto the shore. And I actually have the same diagram as the last applicant does. I didn't include it, but it's a, I don't know if you can see it, but generic, same diagram he has on how to, what is required wall. I just did it by hand, only what I have.
Bill Rowinski, I have a question for you. Looking at the top of that page where it says 42 inches and then 30 inches.
Yes.
30 inches from the existing, or are you going to excavate back 30 inches?
That's the furthest point there is, because the water line is uneven. So it goes anywhere from 12 inches to 30 inches from the existing band. Only reason I'm going out 30 inches, actually I'm going out about 12, 24 inches in most spots, is to get the gravel behind it. I need that room to put my base in. I'm going with a 16-inch base, going with a foot of crushed rock behind it. The only reason why, so at the furthest point from where the shore end comes in is be 42 to the outside of the wall and 30 inches the inside. It is parts of the shore where I'm going to be within 12, 16 inches of that wall.
Okay, so this is the reason why we had a discussion on the last application about getting the permission from the Lake Association, because essentially you are encroaching onto the lake bed
No.
and would be encroaching on their property.
No, I'm not. I gave you a copy of the GIS map, shows that my land goes out about 3 feet past. I'm only halfway to where my property, if you look right here, I'm building a wall way over here. My land goes out here. So I'm not, and Kelly Billings is well aware of where I'm putting this wall. And it's literally about 12 inches from the furthest part out of my property. The reason I said I put a maximum is because it gets in a little bit. If you look, it's not exactly a straight line there, goes in and out and stuff. But I have another, I could actually go out about 4 feet. There's another map, I don't know if you have it there, showing that my property goes there a lot further. And then, I think, but no, it's not the, that's it. Let's see. All right, here's where, if you back up that way, here's where the land goes in and out, jogs in and out. So right in the middle here, I'll be about maybe 24 to 30 inches away. Over to the right, I'll be about probably 12 inches from the shore, and same to the left. I just make a
When the water is up, when the water is up at the highest, does it go all the way back to that bank?
It goes, yeah, it reaches the bank, but doesn't go up to it. Where the leaves are along the bottom is where the water line is. All that green vegetation is above the water line all year round. And I'm not holding back any soil. I'm just keeping it from the waves from splashing. I'm trying to keep my property from eroding and going into the lake, preserving the quality of the lake. And
so John, could you go to page 6 of your combined, that map? All right, that's the survey map for the subdivision, the original subdivision of the Lake of Lakes.
Yes.
So the map that was on the page earlier, on page 5, I don't know where that comes from. It's not a survey map.
No, it's a GIS map. But you asked for that last week. Someone asked me for a GIS map.
Yeah, so the GIS don't accurately show the property boundary lines in relation to the lake.
That's why I
you have
presented
to use
originally. Yep.
Yeah, you have to use the survey map, and that survey map shows the edge of water on that map. Appears to, and it says that you have 48 feet along the shoreline.
Yep.
On that side, that would be I believe the north side. And then you have some shoreline that runs along the 118 feet. Where is your wall proposed to be?
48.
Only the 48.
Yeah, only the 48, yes.
Only the 48.
And I will not be.
And
go ahead.
What's the maximum height?
18 inches.
Okay. And do you have the Lake Association's permission to perform the work along the shore?
Yes, but providing I get it from you guys. They do have all the information. They're waiting. One of the emails I sent to in my packet is where she's asking me if I got my permission yet from you.
Okay. So Bill, we got the same issue that we had kind of like the last one.
Yep.
So since it's only 18 inches high?
Yes.
And there's no heavy machinery going through and doing anything with it?
No, it's all hand.
Yeah. Well, this is an unbuildable lot at this point in time, correct?
At this point in time, yes. I'm getting, yes, as of right now it is.
Yeah. And it does, as far as I can tell, it doesn't look like it's going to get to be anything more than just an unbuildable lot based upon what I see. So that's why I kind of question why you were doing all this work for it. But still, somebody might want to have a picnic and be able to have access to the lake on a picnic lot.
Yeah, I'm
Who
just
knows?
trying to, I'm trying to protect the land and protect the lake. But
Mhm.
But I have a question. Ray,
yes,
why are you only doing the 48 feet if the water is coming in? I mean, that 118 or whatever it is, that's
that
that's for the spillway. That's where
right.
all water going out of the lake goes.
That is my phase two. When this gets done, I was hoping to get this done.
Okay.
I was hoping this was getting done this fall, and then in the spring before they raise the water, because spillway, if that keep the road in, you're gonna have problems down the road with that spillway. You can imagine how expensive that'd be to replace that. So I'm gonna put the same thing. It's gonna be literally 18-inch, 15-inch wall along the property all the way down. I just want to get this part started first, and I'll go right down the sidelines.
And,
And that's, you're right, that's more important there because that affects the spillway in the dam.
and just one other question. This map that we're looking at with these whatever they're called, the yeah, those things, the lengths and the
The
north
dimensions.
41 dimensions, thank you. This is not a recent map, correct? This is something back
That's
when Joe
it's the original map.
when Joe did the right. I'm looking at it and thinking, I wonder if there's other things that might be affecting what you're doing. And are you doing this all the work yourself?
No, I've got a guy helping me do it. I
Oh,
have a guy that
okay.
builds walls for a living. He's built many, many walls on this lake itself, plus others.
Well,
And
that was
it's not even a wall. Actually, I don't consider it a wall. I'm just stacking blocks, but
well,
I'm building it like it's a fort. Look at
I'm I'm glad to hear that you're not doing it yourself.
no.
You got somebody else to help you.
20 years ago, I probably could have done it myself. I actually built walls back in the 80s.
Oh
So,
boy,
but now
that
I
was
need help.
that was a way back. Yep.
Yes, before most of you were born,
Yep. No, well, no, it scares me that I can remember the 80s.
probably.
That's
So
all I
Bill,
can think.
Bill, I don't have
Go
a
ahead,
problem
Paula.
with granting an approval for the 48 feet for an 18-inch high block wall. I do, however, have a problem with extending it around the corner in the spring without better detail than what we've got here.
I'll come back with a complete plan. I'll get all the measurements and stuff. The second phase. I say right now, I just want to get this first, the front of the property secured, and then I'll do the same thing. I'll give you a complete set of
You're going to
plans.
have to get a surveyor because you're close proximity to the dam. You're going to have a surveyor reestablish your property boundary line along that goes up to the dam if you're going to do anything close to the dam. Because we need to be sure that if you're doing work, you're not doing any work that potentially could affect the spillway or the dam itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's
yes.
a greater concern to be doing work next to the dam than it is along the lakefront that's facing north.
That's why. Yes.
So my advice to you is a lot of surveyors are pre-backed up, and it takes at least a couple of months to get through the whole process. So you should be looking at it's already December, and so if you're looking at doing something in the spring, you're really going to make it really tight.
It's not going to happen. Originally I was, but in the time frame, it's not going to happen until next year. It'll be another year before that part goes, because I'm going to run it. It's taken me a few months to get this point here, and I say there's no way I can get a surveyor, get this small little wall built, and have time for that. So it'll be. I'll come next summer before they drain the water with the details, the plans. So then when they do it, drain the water, hopefully I'll be approved by then. But it'll be a year from now.
So, hello. So would it be appropriate to the rest of the commissioners that we ask for a written a written description of, that you're going to be just doing the 48 feet at this
That's all I'm
point in
doing.
time,
That's
and
all I'm doing, yes.
and kind of a course of action, for this event. And I'd like to see that. Wouldn't that be most appropriate,
If
for
you,
approving this particular application? And then next year, when the 118, that will be another whole
yep,
separate
yes.
application.
Yeah, start all over,
right?
yep.
Okay.
So Mark, we could do a conditional approval that
Yeah.
provides that limitation.
Yeah,
Meaning-
I'd like to see that in writing. Yes. Yeah.
That would be part of the permit.
Right, that would be
There's
on
a
the
couple of things.
record in his file, but that would be the
Correct,
limitation.
correct.
No, I think it needs to be a condition on the permit, the approval, because he stated he's only going to make it 18 inches tall, and he's going to get the permission from, or he has the permission
Yes.
from the Lake Association, which we haven't seen, and he's also indicated that he's going to plan on coming in at a later time. So I want to make it clear that this approval is only for 48 feet long retaining wall on the north side of the property, that it's 18 inches in maximum height, and that no construction work can begin until the wetlands agent receives notification from the Lake Association that they find the work acceptable.
Okay,
So if you have no objection, Mark, I could make a motion to that effect.
Yes, I'm good either way. I just wanted to make sure that it got down in writing. Yep. Okay.
Okay, so I'll move that application 10-25-07, 0 Hiawatha Heights, map 7272, block 34, lot 0D1, be approved for the construction of an 18-inch high shore block wall on the following conditions. One, that the wall does not exceed 18 inches in height from its toe to its crest. Two, that no work begin on construction of the wall until the wetlands agent receives a written notification from the Lake Association. That's the Bungie Lake Collecting District, that they have found the work to be acceptable to them. And three, that the length of the wall shall not exceed
48
48 feet
Right. On the lake facing side. Yep.
on the north side of the lot facing the lake.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Got it.
Do we have a second?
Second, Stuart Peasley.
Okay, we have motion by Malabat, second by Stuart Peasley to approve application 10-25-07, 0 Hiawatha Heights, map 7272, block 34, lot 0D1, for Raymond Priest shoreline block wall with 3 conditions as stated in Marla's motion. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, the motion passes.
Did we lose Kathy?
Oh, I'm sorry.
There
No,
you are.
I'm writing this all down on my. Okay, no, I'm fine. Yes, whatever we were saying. I wandered off into the distance. That's all I can tell you.
Okay,
Did you
we're all
vote,
set on that.
Susan?
I'm
No,
sorry.
that's why I was wondering if she was going to abstain because she's a neighbor, right?
Yeah, maybe that would be a better idea. Let me abstain, Bill.
Okay. All right, so we have 1 abstentions and 3 in favor. So thank you, Mr. Priest. We'll move on from there to
I'll have,
application.
Kelly
Go ahead.
Billings. Kelly Billings is a building and zoning Lake Bungie tax district person. I'll have
Yeah.
her send a letter to the town
To me, yeah.
to me.
I'm sorry,
John
it's John.
Guskowski.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yes. All right.
Yeah.
I've sent, I'm assuming she can email to you tomorrow. Something like
yeah,
that.
of course.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you. So moving on to application 10-25-09, 83 Crooked Trail, Extension, Robert and Lisa Andrews regrading along the shoreline. So just up front, on the application, there is no signature. So I don't know, how you want to consider that. I think we tabled last time.
Oh, 10:25, okay.
I don't know, are the Andrews here? I don't see them. Or Phil Riley, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay. So, right, we don't have a signature on the application form, but
I think, they were looking for additional details regarding the work along the shoreline and an approval notification from the Lake Association stating they have no objection to such work.
Bill, I have some additional information that I would like for there to be pursued more than just the signature and the written permission. I would like some identification and location of the erosion and sediment controls intended to protect Witches Woods from sedimentation during construction within the 125-foot upland review area. I don't know if the total amount is straight.
Go ahead, Ms. Butts. Sorry.
That's okay. And then also, I would like some dimensions and details on the construction of the rock wall at Witches Woods border. A little more detail on that.
I emailed all these to John a couple days ago.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Clark Bar Road.
Minus, I didn't realize that the permit hadn't been signed, but let me pull up my email. And I believe I answered all of the questions because the last meeting we had that storm and I lost power and I lost internet. Otherwise, I would have been there to speak on it because I spoke earlier on behalf.
Oh yeah. So there's the email is pulled up. It's in the files. This wasn't
submitted. Posted with the posted documents.
It was.
It was.
Yeah, in parentheses, additional information if you click on the agenda.
Yeah, so I downloaded. Yeah, I downloaded all the documents on Saturday or the 28th, whatever that was. 28th would have been.
This was received on Friday evening and was posted, I believe, probably Sunday or maybe this morning.
Yeah. So I've been noticing that the files are that are posted for us to view. I download them usually the Friday or Saturday before the meeting so I can do a review of them. And I'm finding that additional information is coming on and I'm not being informed that there's been a change, that files have been replaced. So I'm kind of like backtracking on this. Because I haven't had a chance to review these documents because they weren't there when I downloaded all the files. So give me a moment and if somebody else wants to talk, I'll take a look. And what is it under? What file is it under? Under the agenda with the posted?
83 Crooked Trail Extension combined files.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't know, Mr. Riley, do you want to go through the comments?
Yeah, so based off the email traffic that you and I had a couple weeks back, you gave me a list of just talking points that the group wanted to hear about. And so I tried to go off of answer those questions the best I could in order to mitigate any sediment during grading and putting in the construction we're going to be doing. We're going to put up silt fence along the water's edge. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Just, if there's something that you guys would like me to do differently, let me know, and I'm happy to do whatever you guys think is appropriate. And then the rocks that are going to go along the water's edge, I'm not going to be doing any digging. It's rocks that are already on site that are used for steps going down, but what their concern is they don't want to walk on these uneven like rock steps anymore, but they also want to get rid of them. So my thought was to kind of try to armor the water's edge and use them as a seawall to help prevent further erosion along the water's edge. And like I said, I'm not going to be doing any digging along the water line. It's just simply placing those rocks that are already on site. And some of them can be placed by hand, but some of them are a little bit bigger where they're not huge, but I don't want to be lifting, rock after rock after rock and carrying it down. So I will have machines there and I'll just use them to place them and try to disturb as little as possible. And then John had said something about backfilling. Like I said, I don't plan on digging the water line at all. It's just placing the rocks that are there and armoring. If you guys want, I could put a little bit of filter fabric on the back of those rocks to help armor up even more to help prevent with erosion. But I wasn't, I lost internet during the last meeting, so I wasn't able to hear firsthand exactly what you guys are looking for. So hopefully these answers.
So Marla Butt speaking. I do have two questions. What is your timing for construction? When do you intend to begin construction?
I was hoping to begin at the end of this month, just before Christmas.
Okay, so the ground might be frozen, which might make it difficult to do any earth moving work, but it might not be. But okay,
yeah, so
that's
I have a big enough machine that it's not huge, but it's big enough that I'm not really going to be digging too much, more of like scraping off the top layer of dirt that's already there and just along where the water those flower beds are currently. They just don't want to maintain them because they are on a steeper slope and they are a falling hazard for the homeowners. So I brought up the idea, let's put some riprap and some filter fabric down to prevent with erosion and just make it easily maintained.
Mm-hmm. So what's the length of time of construction you're expecting this to take? How long do you figure start to finish?
Yeah, so the initial, I'm going to do everything except for put the topsoil down, because right now I see absolutely no reason to put any kind of topsoil down because it'll never take. I'm not going to plant grass because it'll never take right now. So the plan is to spend 5 or 6 days over there at the end of this month going into January. I would say with a max of 7 days, and then come back in the springtime when it is planting season to then throw down topsoil and seed it, fertilize it, and put straw on it so we can get grass as fast as possible and it can take root. And that way we're not putting topsoil down right now because it will just wash away with the snow and the winters we have now, them being so warm, melting. And it would just be a waste of money. It would go into the pond. So there will be no topsoil going in until the springtime when it is planting season.
So what are you going to use as interim controls while the ground is unstable to protect the lake from siltation?
Putting silt fence along the water line.
Is that beyond the stones or before the stones?
It's before the stone.
So it'll be upslope from the stones. So the stone work will occur in the spring?
Yeah, if that's what you guys want, then I can absolutely do that. Like I said, I have to come back anyway, so it's not a problem for me to come back and place them in springtime. I can line them down there being ready to move, but not in place, upslope of the silt fence. And then when it's time to finish the product, just spend an extra day just placing them all and having the finished product. So it would be a difference of a day now versus a day in the springtime, if that makes sense.
Is this Lake Bungie? What lake is this?
This is Witch's Woods, and I do believe.
And is it lowered in the wintertime?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when does it start coming up in the spring? You want to get it done before the water comes up in the spring, right?
Yeah, and that'll be a conversation I'll have with the homeowners because they'll know better when they start filling up the pond. I'm not well versed as to when they decide to lower it, but I believe that's a lake association thing. So, and John, I do believe they got permission from Witches Woods Association, which I think maybe they emailed to you, or maybe they did not, because I know they came in to pay for the permit.
I haven't seen any correspondence from Witches Woods.
Okay, well, I believe I'd had correspondence with them, and let me just check my email real quick.
So yeah, while you're checking, so I'm good as long as you're doing it within the time frame that the Lake Association would want you to get that stone wall in before the water level comes back up. So, as long as you do it before that date, when they start raising it back up, I'm good with you starting the stonework.
What size of land disturbance are we looking at? How much acreage?
I mean, I have it written there right on the GIS map cutout. I believe I have, and my written where it's, 3 different tiers that are no longer than 50 feet long by 10 feet wide. So I mean,
what's
if you were to
land
talk,
disturbance?
It's 6/10 of an acre, Marla.
Okay, it's not even an acre. All right, because I think it's backwards for the work. I would do the stonework now along the lake shore,
Right.
and do the grading work in the spring when the time is right to plant the grass. Leaving it open and exposed through the winter during this, when the ground is frozen and we get a spring thaw, we get a heavy rain on top of frozen ground, it tends to wash off the top layer as it melts. And can put a lot of pressure on that silt fence. So if you can reverse your sequence of construction and do your work along the lake shore first and do your grading work in the spring, unless there's a reason why you don't want to do it in the spring, that would make more sense, because then your exposure time to siltation from the disturbed site into the lake is a lot less.
so what you're saying is, looking at the drawing that I have right now, so my plan was to do everywhere I have written filter fabric, riprap. Don't do that until the spring or any of the dirt work, until just take the stones out and put them along.
Yeah, and then do all your main land disturbance when you've got a chance to establish vegetative cover in the interim. But
okay, yeah.
The filter fabric and riprap itself could act as a sediment barrier. I mean, the soil could wash from the terrace down into the riprap, but then you'll start to get weeds and stuff going up through the riprap, which I don't think they want that. They want to keep it easy maintenance. So I would say to try to minimize the amount of sediment movement from the flat parts of the tiers from getting into the riprap is to do it so that you can do it all at once within a week's time and get the grass seeded. And of course, the seeding dates start usually, I believe it's April 15th. Is
Yes,
the start
it is.
of the seeding date. And by that time, you would have the frost out of the ground and you would have the best time to do the work. So, and that way you would be away from the lake. The lake would start to be filling up. Usually, I think they start to close the gate valves after the bottom freezes. And that the reason why they're dropping them down is to kill the vegetation, the near shore vegetation, to freeze the roots.
Mm-hmm.
So once the frost goes into that, then they can close the gate valve and it'll come back up. So it's hard. And then if you get a storm in the between time, a big storm that dumps a lot of water in, then the lake will come up again anyway. So it's kind of like a gamble. So it's a lot better to do the work along the lake at the time when it's first drawn down, not wait till spring. That's why I would reverse the work.
So Philip, I'm looking at
I
your
can do that.
diagram and I agree with Marla. So you should be doing that 55 feet of rocks right there along the lake on either side of the dock. Get that done first.
Okay, all right, that works for me.
Okay, Bill Rowitsky just bringing up a point with this. This application is a request for determination that the proposal is permitted, a permitted use as of right
Oh,
and or non-regulated use. Is that appropriate for this project?
Technically, no, you can't. I don't think you can condition a use permitted as of right. It's either entitled to it or they're not entitled to it. So
okay, so then we would need a full application for a full permit.
Right. Yeah. That would, I think it should, because it's doing work at the lake's edge and the extent of the work, I think it should come through not as a use permitted as of right for maintenance, enjoyment, or residential home. It's a little more than that. The question would be as to whether I got to look at the language for the use permitted as of right. Hold on a second. All right, let's see. Regulations.
Well, we had an application first thing tonight for around Quasset Lake, and it was for an existing wall, and that went through a regular permit, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. So
the previous two went through as permit.
yes, and this is very similar. They want to put in a rock, front-facing wall on the, it may be leaning, but it's still, yeah.
I think if it didn't involve the in-lake work, it probably would qualify under maintenance and enjoyment.
Agreed.
But because it's so close, okay. Uses incidental to the enjoyment and maintenance of a residential property, such property defined as equal to or smaller than the largest minimum residential lot size permitted anywhere in the municipality, provided that anywhere in the town where there are no zoning regulations establish the minimum lot size is the largest minimum lot size. The site shall be 2 acres. Such incidental uses shall include maintenance of existing structures and landscaping, but shall not include removal or deposition of significant amounts of material from or onto a wetland or watercourse, or diversion or alteration of a watercourse. So most of this is landscaping.
Right.
It's not, I wouldn't say it's maintenance of an existing structure, but for along the lake.
Well,
I don't know.
I know we can't put conditions on use as of right, but
Right.
but we've given our opinion to Philip, and if he thinks it's a good idea and agrees, and I'm good with that. That he's do the wall work first, even though we can't force him to. If he's willing to do it.
Well, Philip, are you saying that as far as this application, which we don't have a signature on, and that's the other problem is we don't have a signature from the applicant, and we have to have that.
Can I get the applicant or the homeowners to sign it and then bring it into the town hall this week?
Since we can't condition wetlands agent, since we can't condition declaratory rulings, it's either is or it is not acceptable.
I can hold off on issuing anything at all until we have a signed document, Marlon.
Do you want me to come back next month then in January?
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it.
All right. How come this wasn't caught last month when you guys saw it?
Bill, did we see that there was no signature on the application?
I just noticed that when reviewing for this meeting.
It wasn't noted on the record last meeting.
Okay.
If it had been noticed, I absolutely would have gotten it signed, and I wouldn't be dealing with this now.
I understand.
I would suggest extending a little grace here.
Yeah, I agree. If we had an error and not catching it ahead of time,
yes,
then I would say yes. So if you will state to us at this point in time that your proposal is to do the stonework along the lake first and to follow up with the other work in the spring when the weather permits grass growing season. I would find this acceptable as a use permitted as a right, maintenance, and enjoyment of residential home. Does anybody else have an opinion?
Absolutely agree that with your guys' guidance that flip-flopping it, doing the stonework first, setting up the silt fence, and then letting it be until the springtime when everything can be done at once makes much more sense than how it's proposed.
Okay. Do you want me to make a motion, Mark, or you want to make
please. You can make it.
All right. So I just got to figure out the language regarding the how I want the signature. I move to approve application 10-2509, 83 Crooked Trail Extension, map 7272, block 34, lot 195W, by Robert and Lisa Andrews for regrading and landscaping within the 125-foot upland review area and shoreline of Witches Woods Lake, providing the application is signed by the applicants. And the applicants were Robert and Lisa Andrews. Where's this? Yeah, signature is down at the bottom. That's my motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Marla Butt, seconded by Mark Parker to approve application 10-25-09, 83 Crooked Trail Extension for Robert and Lisa Andrews regarding regrading along the shoreline as stated in her motion. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? The motion passes.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So was that motion stated specifically as a use permitted as a right?
I don't believe that language was in there.
Yeah, okay. Well, it should have been, but.
Well, I agree to put it, I was the second, so I say put it in there.
So Dottie, if you could have the minutes read that the motion was intended as a declaratory ruling for maintenance and enjoyment of a residential home.
Thank you.
It was
Yes,
not
I
part of the
did hear
motion.
that in the sentence.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I did hear it. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to new applications. Application 11-25-01305 Crystal Pond Road, map 6385, block 39, lot 13, for Town of Woodstock and the Crystal Pond Park Association for manual Phragmites removal.
Can I speak?
Go ahead.
Oh, hi. So I'm Elizabeth Murphy. I'm a commission member. So I was proposing to manually remove the Phragmites while the water level is down. It's down about 25 inches and it should stay that way for the next couple of months, depending on how much rainfall we get. So that photo was taken just last week or 2 weekends ago when the water was down 25 inches. So you can kind of see the stand is relatively new. There were only 8 seed heads. So it's pretty a small number of seed heads for a large Phragmites stand. The Phragmites kind of extend into the shoreline and then into the water. My goal was originally to remove as much of the root system as possible, but I think that's just going to disturb a lot of the native vegetation. So I'm going to try and reduce the height of it. If you get it 12 inches below the normal water line, it should help to drown it out, which will essentially suffocate the Phragmites. I will need to come back throughout probably the summer and the growing season to check it. So I would like to propose moving a couple of the logs that are there. They're like small enough for me to move, just so I can access it with a kayak and check for any new growth.
Does anybody have any comments or?
Yeah, what's the aerial extent of the Phragmites currently, the Phragmites bed? How big is it?
It's about 20 by 20 feet.
Okay. And so you're not actually proposing to remove the roots at this time, correct?
Well, I did just a couple trials to see like what would even work, and I think it's going to disturb way too much of it. So I'm going to try and drown it first, which from what I've read, my research, drowning is actually going to be really effective because it's like 25 inches below the water line right now. So I will have to monitor it though.
So Elizabeth, is there some native species of other plants that are in there that you don't want to be pulled?
There's other native grasses. So yeah, it's not a very established stand. Where like I felt confident 8 seed heads is actually a pretty low number for a 20 by 20 foot patch. And I was able to pretty easily pull up like a new shoot that was growing. So it's not like, you see like a Phragmites stand that's been there for several years. It's like really hard packed. So there's still good native vegetation in between all that. It's died back, but it was there in the summer.
I could make a suggestion to you because I've seen Phragmites is very hard to get rid of. But one of the things is if you can get down there and continually weed whack it. I know it'll weed whack your native grasses, but this is probably a lot more dangerous than the native grasses may be able to come back if the Phragmites can be damaged as much. I don't know if it's growing now in that water. I don't know why it would not continue to grow, even if you cut it down. I think the repeated cutting is what's going to damage. It's going to weaken the root system.
Yeah.
Phragmites, you'll notice that where you have high nutrients, the Phragmites will grow taller. The more nutrients that are available to it, the taller it gets.
Yeah.
So
it's not possible to weed whack just because this is under 2 feet of water normally.
So you're going to be cutting it under the water?
So right now I'll cut it down as far as I can with the hopes of as much of it gets drowned as possible in the spring. And then, in the summer, I will be in there checking on my kayak.
So this is the winter lowering time, right? Yeah. They lowered the water, Marla, and it will come back up
It's 25 inches below normal.
Yeah, but it comes back up from the roots. It doesn't come back from the stuff that's aerial at this point in time. And so even if you cut this back now, it's going to come back from the roots. And unless you can cut it back as it's growing repeatedly, and to drain the roots, the roots, kind of like make it use up all of its sources trying to regrow, and you just keep whacking it back.
I think that's exactly what she's suggesting, Marla.
Yeah, okay. From what I read, if you can get it 12 inches below the water line, like that's the goal, then that will drown it. So if I cut it all back now, and then the water, if we have a wet spring, and it's not, or a very cold winter and it's not growing as much, and then a very wet spring, fingers crossed, that should work. But I will have to get in there with a kayak and check for any, and stick my arm down 12 inches and cut it as well.
I don't have any problem with this as conservation of soil and water. I'm not sure that it's gonna be effective, but it's worth a try, because once it gets started, it can expand quite quickly if it's got a good nutrient source. Oh,
Yep, that's our goal is to get it as soon as we can. We just noticed it this
Yeah.
year.
yeah. Well, I wish you luck on that. So I'll move to approve application 11-25-01, 305 Crystal Pond Road, map 6385, block 39, lot 13, by the Woodstock, it's actually the Crystal Pond Park Commission.
Correct.
Yeah, as a non-regulated use, conservation and soil and water to remove Phragmites through the use of cutting.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Marla Butt, seconded by Stuart Peasley to approve application 11-25-01, 305 Crystal Pond Road, map 6385, block 39, lot 13, for the Crystal Pond Park Association.
Commission.
Commission.
Crystal Pond Park Commission.
Okay. As Marla stated in
As
her
a
motion,
non-regulated
is
use.
there any
Non-regulated use.
as a non-regulated
under
use?
soil and water.
Conservation of
Conservation
soil
of
and
soil.
water by cutting,
Mhm.
right, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Anyone abstain? Okay, the motion passes. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Okay. Moving on to application 11-25-02, 103 Rawson Road, map 5705, block 12, lot 14, for Christopher Kramers and Chelsea Garcia, new single-family home via free split. And is Daniel here? Hi, Daniel.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Very
All
well.
right, terrific. So for the record, I'm Daniel Blanchette. I'm a licensed civil engineer and land surveyor. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant and owner, Christopher Kremers, who is proposing to do a free split to create a new 4-acre lot so that his child and spouse can build a new single-family dwelling. We have wetland soils delineated by Rick Zulik. Portions of the septic system are within the upland review area. However, I don't really anticipate any negative impacts to the wetlands or watercourses. I think it's a pretty simple, straightforward project. The house, the well, the driveway is mostly outside the upland review area. It's really just portions of the septic system that are within 100 feet of the wetlands. I would be happy to answer any questions.
I have a question. I've got some notes on this. It's missing the written consent of the property owner. Section 1, item 1 on the application form. You have to enlarge that because you can't see the screen.
Yeah, but it says if applicant is not the property owner, the applicant is the property owner.
Oh. Well, wait a minute.
Right? Attach written consent of the property proposed activity of the owner if applicant is not the property owner. I believe the applicant is the property owner.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see what
Well,
I pulled off the internet. So it says the name of the applicant is Chelsea Garcia, and it says the name of the property owner is Christopher Kremers.
I believe they jointly own the property. Am I correct, Daniel?
Well, let's look that up.
I think Christopher and Chelsea aren't online. Maybe Chelsea, Christopher, can you introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, yes, I'm Chelsea Garcia. So Christopher Kremers is the owner of the property, and I'm his daughter-in-law. And so Christopher and Lauren jointly own the property. I was just handling the paperwork for it, and that's why my name is as the applicant.
until the
That becomes
signature.
problematic for us because we need the signature of the owner.
You
on
have the signature of the
application.
owner.
You
Marla,
got it.
you have
It-
it.
Yeah, it says
It is
Christopher
there.
Kremer
Chris
are down
Kremers.
below, signature of applicant. So
But
Chris
he's not
did
the
sign it.
applicant. Chelsea Garcia is the applicant.
Oh, brother. So do we need,
Okay.
do we need,
Okay.
don't we
No,
also need
'cause
the,
it can be-
Can we count
No,
that as the
it
written
can be
consent
processed
because
as
he
a
signed
wetlands
it?
agent approval. So there's not a big deal about it. John can always have Chelsea sign the application form under the applicant's thing. So then you'll have two signatures anyways. You'll have Christopher
Weird.
Kremers and you'll have Ms. Garcia.
Awesome.
I don't see there's a problem with this. I do have a question. Does NDDH need to approve the septic design, or has that already been done?
Excellent question. So the NDDH has approved the specific septic design. That approval letter should be part of the record. It's dated November 11th. We do not have NDDH approval for the free split. I expect that any day now, but for the specific septic system that we're trying to build, we do have health department approval.
Okay. Did you forward a copy of that to John?
Yes.
John, do you have that?
I'd have to check the NDDH records. It didn't come in as part of this application, but we have separate emails that we get from NDDH that are sort of uncategorized.
I can certainly forward it tomorrow. Again, it's dated November.
I'm sure.
11th.
I'm sure we've got it. But
it's fine. That's fine as long as you have it. Okay, so this split has not occurred yet. This free split.
Correct. We're waiting on your approval before we file any Mylars or record any deeds, anything of that nature.
So when you file the Mylars, are you proposing to show the wetlands delineations that you have for this lot on that Mylar?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we have a second sheet, a free split sheet, a boundary survey that shows a little bit of a bigger picture that includes the wetlands as well.
Okay, because we don't have that in our application, so that's the only question I was wondering. I think this can be. One last thing: sequence of construction. How do you plan to do it first? Is it going to be the septic system built first, or the house built first and then the septic system? Is there going to be any difference in the sequence?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what the contractor is going to do first.
Okay, that's just a question. I think this can be processed as a wetlands agent approval. I don't think that this needs to go through. And as long as John has the necessary signatures, I don't see that we have to do anything because we don't need to go through give planning and zoning any advice because it doesn't go through planning and zoning as a free split. So does anybody have objection to John just issuing a wetlands agent approval for this?
Fine with me.
Okay, I move that application 11-25-02, 103 Rawson Road, map 5705, block 12, lot 14, by Chelsea Garcia and Christopher Kremers, be processed as a wetlands agent approval for the construction of a single family home on a proposed free split lot.
Second.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Mark seconded.
That didn't come in clear. Mark seconded?
Mark Parker, second.
Motion by Marla Butt. Okay. Motion by Marla Butts and second by Mark Parker to process application 11-25-02 for 103 Rawson Road as a wetlands agent approval. Are there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstain? Okay, the motion passes.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Daniel.
Thank you very much.
Next, application 11-25-0410 Bighorn Lane, map 7272, block 34, lot 0C42, Mark Andre Roy, replace retaining wall. And just for the record, there is no signature on this application also.
I came by last week and I signed the hard copy. I had been traveling. By the way, this is Mark IWWA. So thank you very much for allowing me to meet with you guys. But I did sign it with the young lady when I submitted the payment for the file.
So with that, this is probably the electronic version. She didn't go back and scan the signed copy, I imagine.
I would think so.
Okay.
So thank you very much. I'm a new resident here to Woodstock. Moved here about 2 years ago. So this is our second winter. And the retaining wall that you see in front of you is starting to kind of fall apart. It's got some pretty heavy what do you call it, like cracks and dirt falling through. So I'd like to propose to replace the retaining wall with some rock stones. We've hired Creative Exteriors to come and do the work for us. They've done a number of the work around the number of lakes around Woodstock. They helped me prepare the package, which I've submitted. And then there's also a rock wall by the shoreline that we just want to replace with stone. You know, just basically replace it with the same information, the same stuff, but a little bit look and feel better to the property and look and feel of what the people are improving on the lake. With that being said, I'll open up to any questions you may have. Now, bear in mind, I am nowhere near as technical as all the folks that were on the phone before me, so I'm at a disadvantage.
Okay, Bill Rowinski, I'm looking at your cross section of the wall. Is that cross section the same, basically, that you'll use in both locations? Both the timber wall and the stones at the water's edge?
Yeah, we're not changing the location of anything. Same place. We're just replacing with natural wood stone, and yeah, this is the design that they gave us.
So
okay, but you're using that.
No, go ahead, Bill. Sorry.
You're using that for both walls?
I believe so.
Okay.
So just
so
by
on
whoops. Just by way of clarification, okay, you want to use you're going to put in basically a stone-based wall along where that wooden wall is right now.
Correct.
And then you're going to redo, as it were, the stones that are farther down, which are actually on the edge of the water.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm sort of new to this too. It looks to me like you have more problem with these stones at the edge of the water. Does the water actually come up to that wooden?
No. The water doesn't
No,
come
it
up to the
doesn't.
wooden
Right.
No.
Right.
No,
The stone only comes up. I mean, the water only comes up to that level, that the couple of maybe a foot or two right along the water line. Okay.
Yeah. But part of the summer, there's no water against the rocks. And then, when there's a good heavy rain, it maybe goes up maybe 2 or 3 inches on the rocks, but it really fluctuates between that.
Right. Well, does anybody else have a thought about that? I mean, that was the first thing when I saw, having known this house for a long time.
Oh, you know the place. Like I said,
Yeah. Yes, but that was the first thing that I saw, was the wooden wall is a whole nother issue from what's happening at the edge of the actual water. Now, I could be wrong about that, and I'm hoping Marla will have something to say about this, and maybe our other experts, Stuart, and we can you can either ease my mind, or we get into a further discussion.
So I do have a number of questions. This is a very small lot. It's 0.2 of an acre in size. So my first question is how will equipment gain access for the construction site, to the construction site?
Good question. If you look on this picture on the left-hand side, there's a lot next door that's vacant, and so we have had access to bring down the equipment and the stuff needed to go through that lot and bring it down.
Have you had permission from that property owner?
Yes, sir.
To use their property?
Yeah, his name is Teddy. So we spoke to Teddy, and he's the one offered.
Okay. Then the next question that I have is, have you gotten any written permission from the Lake Bungay Taxing District to perform the work on its property?
I have not asked because I did not know I had to ask. So I heard that earlier on the call earlier today. So tomorrow morning I'll reach out to them and request and send them a copy of the package.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to have an issue.
Yeah. So where is the septic system and well for this home? Where is it located?
Okay, the septic system. Yeah. If you is there an aerial view?
Yeah, there's an aerial view where you've got some dimensions.
Okay, perfect. This is good. So the septic system is between the road where it says Bighorn Lane and the house.
Yep.
Yep. And I guess the septic system is on towards the top part, right around that area.
Yep.
And the well, we have a shared well. There's 22 properties on the lake that has a shared well, and that's like on an island in between all the properties. I mean, like not an island, but a land island between the Bighorn Lane Road.
Oh, so it's a community well.
It's a community well, yes.
I don't remember that in the listing of wells when we're looking at the plan of conservation and development work.
They do a real nice job of it too, because they keep the costs low and it's very well maintained.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you don't need to worry about crushing a wellhead. You don't need to worry about crushing a septic tank because you're not going to be anywhere near it.
Exactly.
Right. That answered one of my questions. Okay. What is the height of the wall going to be to replace the timber retaining wall? How high is it going to be? What's the max height from the toe to the top?
It's about 4. I think it's about. They should have some pictures there, but when I stand next to it, my shoulder comes up to the top, so it's about 4.5, 5 feet.
Mm-hmm. And okay, the reason why I'm asking is because if it's going to be if it's going to be 6 feet or greater, it's going to need a building permit, and it's also going to have to be designed by a professional engineer. And given the quality of your house, you might want to have an engineer take a look at the design work for the retaining wall, but that's up to you.
Okay.
The diagram of the typical lake wall shows a maximum height of 42 inches. Is this what's being proposed along the lake? 42-inch high wall?
Not along the lake. It's the one. It's the timber lake that you're seeing there. The timber wall.
Yeah, but your diagram of your typical wall in the lake shows 42 inches max. You don't say what the height of the wall is in your application.
Again, it's the folks from Creative Exteriors that helped me put the package.
Yeah, well, they should have changed the number of what the height of the wall was going to be.
Yeah, well, if 40, I don't have a problem keeping it 42. So.
Yeah, but that's quite a difference in height compared to what's there now. You have a sand. If we go back to that diagram showing the diagram, so you have an upper wall, which is timber now, and you're going to put that into stone, correct? Then you got a sand area, and then you've got a lake wall.
Right.
And then you showing that you're going to put the silt fence in the lake while the lake's drawn down. I assume that that's what it is, that you want to do this while the lake is drawn down, correct?
That is correct, yeah, but it's not going to be, that's going to be no more than 2 feet high. So it's not going to,
Okay, so-
the lake wall is not going to be, we don't want it to be more than 2 feet high.
Yeah, because that diagram makes it look like it's 4 feet.
Yeah, they're saying max, but it's
yeah.
going to be much less than that.
Yeah, so that's not an accurate diagram for that wall. And it doesn't say anywhere on the application, on that drawing, what the height of that wall is actually going to be.
Okay.
So that needs to be clarified. That needs to be clarified, what the actual height is going to be.
Okay.
Because
as long as it's less than 42 inches, it's fine.
Well, we just have to know what it is, because you're not going to have a sand beach if you're going to have a wall that high. And it might interfere with the toe of your other retaining wall. So you really need to think out, how high that wall is going to be along the lake in relation to the retaining wall that's currently timber. You know what I'm saying?
Understood.
Yeah. So this is an individual application because of the work along the lake edge. So we would be receiving it today. And we couldn't render a decision on it until next month.
Okay.
And
Mark,
in that time,
sorry.
No, go ahead. In that time, you can go in and sign the application form. I would suggest you date it to what the receipt date was. What was the receipt date on this, John? I don't see a stamped receipt date on it.
Let me see. And again, he did come in and sign. We just didn't scan that version.
Right. That's okay. That's okay. As long as you've got it, because it's going to have to come back to next month.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll want to see that receipt date, and we'll want to see the application modified to show what the height of that wall along the lake is, and they'll also need some letter of permission from the Lake Association.
Got it.
So yeah, just a little clarification. Currently, and John, you can help me out with this. Page 11 of the combined package has a picture of a typical lake wall section. So am I to assume that is what you're going to use to replace the upper current timber wall?
Yes.
Because that diagram says 42 inches maximum height. Right?
And it says lake bed.
Yeah, and then it says lake bed. So that's where I'm confused now. If this is to replace the upper wood wall, it's not going to be going to the lake bed. This actually should be the diagram for the one that's going to be down next to the lake, and it's only going to be 20. What did you say? 20 inches high or something like that? 20.
About 2 feet.
Yeah, 2 feet. So you should probably have two diagrams. One, what you're going to have is the upper wall, and then the one that you're going to have next to the lake, which currently says typical lake wall section, and it's showing that the lake bed, so.
Understood. I'll talk to the guys at Creative Exteriors to get them to do that.
That way we'll have two diagrams. We'll have one that says the upper wall is going to be 42 inches high, and another one that's going to say the lower wall next to the lake is going to be 24 inches high.
Got it.
Mark, I'd like to suggest that you have one cross section showing both walls and the slope in between.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
So it would be a cross section of the slope for where you're going to do the work.
Of the slope, right?
So you'd want to take it at least from the lake up to the house.
Right. So it would be like looking at the current page 11, but shifted over to the left a little bit, and then you'd see the sand area between that wall and the one that's going to be right up against the lake bed. Yeah.
Right. And do I have to go back right up to the house also?
That way you'll know exactly what your slope is going to be at the house and how high you want the upper wall to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to I'll talk to them tomorrow.
Yeah, they should be able
to do that.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have been fabulous so far. So I got 3 things on my list here. I have the height of the lake wall with a cross section of the lake wall and the other timber wall to be replaced with a slope, and then the permissions from the association tax district.
Yeah, so tell your contractor you're looking for a cross-section from the edge of the lake up to the house showing both walls in the cross-section and the slope in between. So I'm going to move, let's see, where are we? Application 11-25-04, 10 Bighorn Lane, map 72, block 34, lot OC42 by Mark Andrew Roy, to be accepted as a pending application, to be received as a pending application, statutorily received as a pending application, with the understanding that Mr. Roy will come back with some additional details, including cross-section of the proposed work from the house to the lake, showing the two walls, and to identify the slopes in between the walls, and to provide written permission from the Lake Bungie Tax District saying that they find the work on its property to be acceptable.
Technically, I think I just want to add one thought. If your contractor has a problem making that drawing, I don't know what the distance overall is, but you could take those each cross sections and give the distance between and draw each as segmented drawings. But if you show the elevation difference and the height and the length difference, you can get the slope without having to actually draw it.
Oh, that's
just
fine.
Just a drafting detail.
I'm paying these guys a pretty good penny, so they should be able to get it done for me.
Okay.
I think there needs to be a second.
Just trying to save some trees.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have motion by Marla Butt, second by Stuart Peasley, to accept, to receive application 11-25-0410 Bighorn Lane, map 7272, block 34, lot 0C42 for Mark Andre Roy, replace retaining wall for consideration at the next regularly scheduled wetlands meeting. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? So the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Roy.
you.
It's a wow, like French Canadian.
Wow. Oh, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Sorry. Okay. Moving on to application 11-25-05 Center Road, map 5126, block 17, lot 10, George Tanevsky, new single family home. And I think Daniel is going to inform us about this.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Again, for the record, Daniel Blanchette. I'm a civil engineer and surveyor. I'm here tonight on behalf of the owner and applicant, George Tanevsky. My client owns a property at the intersection of Center Road and Route 197. The property is about 2.7 acres and has a pocket of wetlands on the east side. The wetlands were delineated by Rick Zulik in August. And the proposal is to, again, seek permits to construct a new single-family dwelling. If you look at the site plan in front of you, you'll see we tried to keep the house and septic as far away from the wetlands as possible. The house is tucked right up against the building setback. The septic is as close to the house as possible. The septic system is about 77 feet from the wetlands. The limit of disturbance and erosion controls are about 55 feet to the wetlands. We do not have health department approval yet. That was submitted 2 or 3 weeks ago. I expect it shortly. Again, the house is outside the upland review area, most of the driveway. I think it's a pretty simple project. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hold on a second. Okay. Daniel, what's the sequence of construction? Do you have one?
Yes, at the bottom left-hand corner, there should be a very short sequence of construction. Again, I'm not sure if the contractor is going to do the septic first, or the house, or the driveway.
And that's on your site plan?
Actually,
Yeah,
it might.
well, I see.
Yeah, I stand corrected. We don't really have a good sequence of construction. We have the erosion and sediment control notes.
Yep, okay. And the upland review area only clips the septic system, correct? It doesn't hit the house. It barely hits the house and hits part of the driveway? That's
Correct,
it?
yes. Yep.
Okay. So I think this can be processed as a wetlands agent approval, but it shouldn't be approved until NDDH has approved the design of the septic system. I don't see any problem with this application.
Is somebody willing to make a motion to that effect?
So what's the procedure, Marla, to make the motion, pending the NDDH?
No.
What? Okay.
You just leave it up as be processed as a wetlands agent approval, and John knows that he needs to have the NDDH's approval, because if they don't approve it and it has to be relocated to another different location, it's going to have to come back.
Right.
But
Okay.
Dan, one comment I'd like to, before anybody seconds, I'd like to make a comment about your drawings. Since you're using them for actual construction, initially it looks like it was designed for septic approval, septic design approval. I would suggest adding some kind of locus map up in the upper corner, regardless, because people may not know where this property is when we put it up to public notice and stuff. So I know that these have been coming up this way, where they appear to be the plan that you send to the health department, and then you're using it to get a wetlands approval or a wetlands permit, whichever. Would you have any objection in the future of adding a locus map somewhere on your drawing? So
Not at all. No, that's a terrific suggestion. I will be happy to do that next time.
Okay.
Just for the record, I believe this is near the end of Child Road.
No, it's at the corner. It's at the pointy corner of 197 and Center.
Yeah, but I believe
so it's near. Yeah, so Child
street,
Road is up to the north.
Road.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So let's see, where are I move that application 10-25-05 Center Road, map 5126, block 17, lot 10, by George Tunvesky, for the construction of a new single-family home with septic system and portion of the driveway in the upland review area, be processed as a wetlands agent approval, providing the NDDH approves the septic design.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Marla Butt, seconded by Kathy Barrick to process application 11-25-05 for Center Road for George Tanevsky for new single-family home, be processed as a wetlands agent approval pending approval by the NDDH for the septic system design. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? So the motion passes. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you again, everyone. Have a terrific evening.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Moving on to application 11-25-07, 159 Laurel Hill Drive, map 7272, block 34, lot 0OC14, Heather McFarlane, reinforced retaining wall. Is there anyone representing this application at this point?
Yes, I'm right here. I'm Nick Gravel from Sturbridge Stoneworks. My colleague Sean Langerman's on the call as well. Okay, so what we're looking to do here. Okay, so the same setup. Looking to do here is just kind of take and rebuild this wall, kind of set it back to the original spot that it should be. The one thing we want to do differently in it is we just want to put 4 granite steps. I don't know if she has a picture of the right side of the wall where on the right side of the dock where we would actually be putting steps in the center of that area. We'd like to use it because steps will work well for erosion control as well as just reinforcing that area, giving it another setback in 2 turns. So if there's anything I can answer or
would it be similar to this? You can see it in sort of the distance in this picture. That's probably the neighboring property, like that.
Sure. Yep. It would be, I'm sorry if I can't see it well enough here. Yeah, it would just be a tighter wall, kind of set back, you know, just to industry standards. We'd be bringing a smaller excavator down, one that can handle just 4-foot steps, which are about maybe I think around 400 pounds or so. So there really wouldn't be much damage or anything from the machine coming down.
Marla Beth speaking. I have the same questions I had for the other, the wall, the retaining wall that was a wood retaining wall being replaced with a rock wall. Where is the septic system and the well for this property? Since it is a very small lot, it's only 2/10 of an acre. And could they be affected by the construction activities?
No, there would be no reason for us to even go near either of them. We're really just, the only reason we'd even be bringing a machine down the property is just to bring the steps down and just bring them in and just place them in the area. Everything else can basically be done by hand. There's some like breaking up of the concrete and stuff that we'll be taking out, and we can take that out by hand or wheelbarrow. It's not a really big area. So we really just want to do the least amount of impact to the area. And the really only thing we really want to change is just kind of put some steps in, which I think is really going to help it. It's going to be better for the client to be able to use the property and utilize it well and get into the water. So.
Yeah, it's a future reference. You really should supply a diagram. I really liked your written description. It's been one of the better ones that we've seen, but there's no, yeah, there is, but there's no site plan. So I'm trying to figure out, photographs are nice for us to see what the existing conditions are, but they don't really tell us, you know, they're not really marked up to tell us, you know, that, well, this is how I'm gaining access and this is where the extent of the work is going to be.
So, okay, so this is the property plan right now?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if I have the same one up on this.
I didn't see it in the application materials that we had.
Right, this is from the town's GIS. This is from the town's GIS. It's not included in the application pack.
Yeah, so it's not part of the application. It doesn't matter.
On the
it's not
same,
part of the application.
yeah, I was going to say, are we on the same? I just want to make sure it's the same lot that I have here.
This is 159 Laurel Hill, the McFarland, and
yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
Just up close because I don't have it on that. All right. Okay. So we'd be coming down the right side of the property. Say if you're looking, would be the top side on the plan right now, and just kind of coming down right. If there was a picture that showed the dock and coming right through there and coming, I can put plywood down. We normally do anyway when we're going across any kind of soft soils or anything else, because we really want to try to do the least amount of impact that we can. We really value the old stone walls and the ways they are. So we're just trying to kind of keep the environment the way it is, if that makes sense. But if anything you need for us to keep moving along, I can definitely provide that for you.
So let me ask you, would you really want to be doing this during frozen ground conditions?
I would be love to be doing it as soon as, yeah, I mean, I would love to be doing it, to be honest, sooner than later. It's just that the way that we were able to get onto your schedule and just the way scheduling worked to get to this point was a little later than I would have liked, you know what I mean? But otherwise, I mean, if we could pass it, or if there's something I could do that could, you know, expedite that and I could get it done in the next couple of weeks and get going on it, it'd be a pleasure.
Well, it looks like it's an individual permit application because of the work at the lake itself, in the lake water, and you don't have the written permission from the Lake Bungay Tax District to perform the work on its property. So we can't process anything. We can only accept the application this time. And in the between time, between now and January, when the next meeting is, you can actually draw up a drawing and have it supplemented to the application. and at the same time get the permission from the lake. Because the Lake Association is probably going to want to see your drawing anyways. They're going to want to see the application.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, that's probably what it'll have to do.
Okay, so yeah, so then we'll just see you in January. I like it.
Mr. Gravel? No, go ahead, Marla.
I was just going to move to accept application 11-25-07, 159 Laurel Hill Drive, map 7272, block 34, lot OC14, for Heather McFarland for the construction of it says on the agenda, reinforced retaining wall. With the request that the applicant come in with a diagram showing the proposed work and written permission from the Lake Bungie Taxing District to perform the work on its property.
Second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Marla Butt, seconded by Stuart Peasley to accept application -07 for 159 Laurel Hill Drive for Heather McFarland for rebuild and reinforce retaining wall for consideration at the next meeting. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, sorry.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So the motion passes.
Good job, Mr. Gravel. I thought your description was probably one of the better ones we've had.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You guys have a great new year, and I'll see you in January.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you
too.
very much.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, John, you want to take over now?
Sure. So we have a proposed administrative approval from Stephen Gabrielle at and he was here, yeah, at 173 Crystal Pond Road. This relates to an item on my agent report. We received notice from some abutting properties of Mr. Gabrielle that he was depositing stones alongside the edge of the water and into the water itself. We received some photos to that effect. Mr. Gabrielle was informed that his neighbors had some concerns, and so he came into the office and explained. Well, he's here, so I'll let him explain. But essentially, that he had received guidance from a prior official, a prior wetlands agent, that this was essentially an as of right matter, and as long as he was depositing relatively small rocks, essentially by hand, it was not of concern to the Wetlands Commission, the Wetlands Agency. Mr. Gabrielle has had an extensive amount of work permitted. It hasn't really gotten underway yet, but I will, and he's submitted an extensive narrative here. But I'll turn the mic over to him and let him explain. Mr. Gabrielle.
Yeah, I was just restoring, repairing, maintaining the shoreline at one end of my property. Based on my conversations years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago with Tina LaJoy, wetlands agent at the time, I was under the impression that routine maintenance like this did not require any permission unless it involved excavation or use of machinery. So I was just based on that guidance, doing what I thought needed to be done to compensate for some erosion and some sloughing that has happened in that part of the property. No intent on my part to get around regulations or to do anything that I shouldn't have done. But I did the work in mid-November. Over the course of several days, I only work about 3 hours at a time, and I'm too old to work any more than that, doing things by hand. I used rubble from elsewhere on the property, the rocks that were removed when those fields were used for agriculture. They had been dumped right in the same area along the shoreline, apparently, and I just put some more of that same material down. If you go to the next page, you can see the pictures. I mean, I'm just maintaining what was there. You can see the 8x8 swim platform to give you a sense of scale. The rock that I put in there is about 12 feet to 15 feet along the shoreline, and maybe 10 to 12 feet from the high water mark in the summer down to the low water mark where the water is now.
Do you have any pictures of the property before the stonework was ever put in? Or did you acquire the property with the stonework there? This is Marla Butt speaking.
Yeah, no, I don't have any pictures beforehand. This was just done and over the last several weeks. The new stone that was down, but what's underneath it is the same thing, just that small rubble that was removed as they plowed the fields, it looks like.
Okay, so when you put in more stone on top of the old stone, wouldn't that have encroached into the lake a little farther than what was there before?
Nope, the high water mark is right where the stones, you can see the edge of the stone line right by the swim platform. That is the high water mark, and just continued that slope down into the water.
Right, so the lake is drawn, the Crystal Pond is drawn down right now for winter drawdown. So when the water is up to the level of the grass, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the stone that you placed was what would have been during normal flow times in the summer would be underwater, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
And that's not your property, correct? Doesn't your property line doesn't your property line run along the high water line of the lake?
It goes to the water line, yeah.
Right, so the property line is up by that grass line.
Yeah,
so you're
I
actually
don't know I don't know how much of that slope has eroded over time and where the actual line is on the survey map. It shows an approximate line along the shoreline there.
Yeah, so in actuality, any work that you did beyond the normal high water line of the lake, of Crystal Pond, is not owned by you. It's owned by somebody else. It's owned by, I believe, I'm not sure. I don't think the GIS shows an ownership for the water body.
No, there isn't.
John,
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it might have been jointly owned by the towns of Eastford and Woodstock.
Well, I know they do Crystal Pond Park. They do that jointly. They own that jointly. But I don't know that I don't believe, does it say? That's Lake
no,
Bungay.
sorry, that's Lake Bungay. Sorry, I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah, the Lake Association only has responsibility for the dam at the far end of the lake. They have no jurisdiction over the lake, so I don't know who owns the lake.
Yeah, a lot of these ones that had dams, when the dams were built, the land was acquired by the dam owner, and so that the water rights would be controlled by the person who controlled the dam. Sometimes when industries failed, the dam got picked up by somebody else, but nobody thought about transferring the land underneath the water. So a lot of times there's a disconnect between the water rights and the actual ownership of the land underneath, but water rights imply the volume that's in the lake. So it may be unclear. I don't know if anybody's done any, obviously it's not on the tax assessor's reference as to who owns it. That means she probably doesn't know. But it could be both towns. But in any case, it's not yours because your property boundary goes to the high water mark. So any work that you did beyond the normal high water mark would have been on somebody else's property. So in the future, you should not be doing any work beyond the high water mark without seeking permission, regardless if you think it's maintenance of your own property. It's not maintenance of your property, it's somebody else's property. Catch my drift?
Yeah, I understand. So how do I make it right?
Well, there isn't really a whole much that you can do to make it right. We're not going to make you take the stones out. And we don't know who owns the lake. My advice to the commission is that we just tell them, don't do any more without seeking any approvals from the wetlands agent. Anything within 125 feet of the water's edge, the normal high water mark, requires an approval from the commission of some way, shape, or form, whether it's maintenance, enjoyment, or residential home, or it's an actual permit application. or wetlands agent approval. You need to get those things cleared off ahead of time.
Okay, so areas of subsidence up on within that 125 feet, not touching the lake. If I wanted to fill in some areas where the water accumulates when it rains or in the winter when the ground is frozen, I should come to you
No,
to get permission?
You should, because you got wetland soils on that property. And those were mapped when you came in for the little cottages that were going to get built.
Yeah, there were no wetland soil. There were no wetland soils on the property.
I'm kind of like checking my memory as to what that was, that drawing that we had. Hold on a second. There was a site plan, John, that you had up on the screen.
Yep, that's yeah.
That's under the additional info, number 3. That's the Stephen, Gabriel, and Lorraine.
Yep.
Caprielli.
This was approved in 2022.
Yeah, that was the zoning, but there is a wetlands. There's a I bet you it was destroyed by what's her face. Anyways, you may find a file for this. It should be recorded in the log, the old paper log, probably under that name.
And what are we
but
looking for, Marla?
There was some kind of approval that we granted for work on this property, and I can't remember what it was. I'd have to go back to my records to see exactly if I have anything on it. I may not have anything on it, but there should be a file at or about that time that this map. When was this map filed? Let's see. It says
in 2020. Oh, interesting. Well, it's if you look at Judy's signature, it was September 1st of 2020, but it wasn't signed by the commissions until 2022. Oh no, there it is. No, Jeff Gordon.
2020.
2020, but so there must have been some modified approval in 2022.
I've got copies of all the.
I was going to say, if you go back to somewhere around 2018, 2017, maybe. I mean, I can look in the old minutes and see if I can find it. But there was an application that came before the commission, because I remember seeing this site plan. I remember hearing about that there was some kind of controversy about the little houses that were going to have, the little cottages, and it was supposed to be used for family use. It wasn't going to, that was my recollection. I mean, I'm really dragging this out.
So what does it have to do with the wetland? What does it have to do with the wetlands process?
Because I thought that there were wetlands that were flagged, but I can't remember. It doesn't look like this shows wetlands flagged, so it may have just been work within 125 feet of Crystal Pond.
Right.
But this one doesn't show any work.
So Marla, Bill Rowinski, could you go back to that screen, John?
Of course.
So kind of right where that point of the wall is in the middle, it says existing flow path through grass field. So there's a low spot there where the driveway crosses that went through there, but I think that went onto Mr. Charette's property, and it was actually an underground pipe at some point. Mr. Charette is on the Zoom if you would like to comment on it, but that has really nothing to do with what we're looking at on the waterfront part.
Yeah, if permission to speak, this is Mike Charette. You're absolutely correct. There is a culvert that runs under my property that goes right to that wall. And I believe, Mrs. Butts, you had requested that there be some attention paid to that area to make sure that there was not going to be any runoff from the driveway to that area, if memory serves me correct. That's all I remember.
What year that might have been? Was it before COVID?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that's what I think it was too. So anyways,
I have excerpts from all the wetlands meetings that this was
Yep.
considered. I can provide those to John. One of them is misfiled on the town website. It's in the wrong year, but I can provide those excerpts to John. That's a single
yeah.
document.
Yeah, but
Well, I have all the minutes.
I'm sorry.
We have all the minutes. What year was that?
I don't have them in front of me right now.
Okay.
I can
All right.
provide it to John tomorrow.
That would be good. That would be helpful.
Mike?
Well, I agree with
Um,
Bill.
Tim?
Let's focus on the shoreline. That's what this whole thing started. So.
So was there ever a notice of violation ever issued for this work, John?
No, I was I was waiting for some photos and videos that were going to be submitted by some of the abutting property owners, and was going to put this together, and Mr. Gabrielle came in and submitted the documentation.
Well, I've got the original permit number 07-18-13. Stephen and Lorraine Gabrielle, Crystal Pond Road, subdivision and special permit for a proposed multifamily development, found in the minutes of July 9th, 2018. And so that's the file you want to look for, is 07-18-13.
Okay.
If you can find it.
Sure.
And you can find the minutes that the town clerk would have those also. So we accepted that application for consideration at the August meeting. And at the August meeting, let's see if we had anything there. At September, August. Okay, we tabled the application in August, awaiting findings from the applicant's engineer. Looking for, the plan does not show the culvert across the driveway, which could be contained in the upland review area, so this needs to be addressed. All right, there were no issues with the waterfront wetlands themselves. There's a drainage area on the east side of the property that drains to the lake along the stone wall where there's our property abuts that of the applicant. I believe that's the abutting property owner. There is water flow within 100 foot of a water course. Discussion, David Smith of KWP has the required credentials to document the situation. The plan does not show a culvert across the driveway. And then we go to August, and August says, for the multifamily, there was a letter from David Smith. The engineers visited the site, and he recommended a gravel base for the driveway, that it be elevated in a low area, and that 2 pipes be installed to prevent the driveway from acting as a levee. This modification will preserve an existing stormwater runoff pattern. The construction as proposed will not have any negative impacts on the adjoining wetlands or on the property of the abutter. This detail has been added to the site plans. Ms. Butts, reciting her credentials, used NECOG's aerial maps and concluded that there seems to be an intermittent water course within 100 feet of upland area, 100-foot upland area, which is in the commission's jurisdiction. She confirmed the maps presented by KWP show the text modifying the driveway, now incorporating the 2 12-inch pipes on sheet 3 of 5 modified to 09-07-18, replacing the plans prepared on July 2nd, 2018. The documents are not yet signed and sealed. NDDH has not received approval has not yet been received. Safe Health Department is reviewing the plans for the pavilion. And then I motioned, and second by Mr. Wodinski, to approve application 07-18-013 as proposed, carried unanimously, with the provision that a new set of maps signed and sealed by a professional licensed engineer be submitted. So that's it. That's the sum total of what we had in the past.
Yep.
So this is what I would suggest at this juncture. I don't know how anybody else feels. I think it should be documented that there was work done beyond the boundary and into the legal bottom of the lake, and just have a letter issued to the property owner that would be to you, Mr. Gabriel, that says that any work within 125 feet of the high water mark is subject to the jurisdiction that you have placed stones without authorization, and to do no more without coming before the commission in the future. And I think that's the letter that, John, you should be sending out to him, or that Bill should be signing, one or the other. It's equivalent to a notice of violation, but it's not requiring you to do anything more other than to comply with the law in the future, because it makes no sense at this time to try to remove any stones that you place. That don't see a problem with it, but you don't own the property that you place the stones on.
Okay.
And that should be in the record. John, do you have a problem with drafting a letter like that, or do you want me to draft something like that?
I do not have a problem with drafting such a letter.
Okay.
Might even do it in English.
The other thing is that this was given an application number, and it wasn't placed under new applications, where I think that's where it should have been. So when it's filed in the log of applications, there should be a notation as to how it was handled. So we're not granting any approval for a use permitted as of right or a non-regulated use, but we're telling you to do no more.
Okay.
I would say, I think we have to deny this request. It did come in, it was assigned an application number. So I'm going to move that application, hold on a second, 11-25-06 for work by Stephen Gabriel at 173 Crystal Pond Road. Request for determination for a use permitted as of right and/or non-regulated use be denied based on the fact that Mr. Gabriel does not own the land upon which he did the work, and that a letter be sent to Mr. Gabriel advising him not to do any work in the future without the proper approvals.
I second. How are you?
Okay, we
did
have
you make the motions.
Yeah, I did make it as a motion.
Yep.
To deny the application 11-25-06 for use permitted as of right or non-regulated use at 173 Crystal Pond.
Yeah, we have motion by Marla Butt, seconded by Kathleen Barrick to deny permit request for determination 11-25-06 for Stephen Gabriel, 173 Crystal Pond Road in Woodstock. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I abstain.
Motion passed.
Mark Parker abstains.
Okay. So the motion passes with three affirmative votes.
Bill, will all
Yes.
of those pages that we were just looking at, will those show up somewhere? I mean, I've never seen them before, so I'm wondering. I didn't realize this was something we were acting on tonight, and I'm just wondering, will they show up someplace? I'd just like to be able to take a look at them just for my own.
They're on the website right now.
Now they are, okay.
They have been
They
since.
weren't when I
Okay.
guess I must have come in before they.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks. That's all. It wouldn't change my opinion. It's just for my own education.
John, what are they titled as on the website?
It is under here. Let me show you.
Under.
Got
If
put
you can
under
see the screen, so
administrative business.
Administrative business, proposed administrative approvals, 173 Crystal Pond Road, and narrative. These two, there are two separate links.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Didn't even realize.
It's not in the attachments.
Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, we're ready to move forward then.
Okay. So my agent report isn't anything particularly earth-shattering. Just recapping the applications pending and the new applications, as well as just a note about this situation on Crystal Pond with Mr. Gabrielle, as well as a note that the Sheldon Road, I'm sorry, the Brian Sheldon Quarry Road activity on a scenic road is still ongoing public hearings with planning and zoning. The next public hearing is this coming Thursday evening, the 4th. That's it. I'm happy to answer any questions, but it's basically everything we've gone through this evening.
So I got a question about Mr. Sheldon's activities. Was he doing clear cutting in wetlands, or is he doing any grading work in wetlands?
I don't believe so. He wasn't doing any clear cutting. He was doing some selective cutting essentially alongside the road. One of the things that planning and zoning required of him was better wetlands maps, because we believe that there's, the wetlands, there's wetlands on the north side of Quarry Road. There's a culvert that goes under Quarry Road, and obviously a very, very large swamp on the south side of Quarry Road as it sort of goes into Pomfret. Mr. Sheldon unsurprisingly claims that no activity took place in the wetlands, but we don't have very good mapping from him. So that was one requirement of planning and zoning.
So did he
Marla,
regrade the road?
I did go out and take a look and took some photographs. I could put them out tomorrow, but basically what I saw was a few incidental activities, nothing major of any scope or scale. It looked like it might have been to do with maintenance of a few trees here and there that were removed alongside of wetlands, stumps taken out.
Yeah.
Like that. Nothing, as I say, nothing monumental.
Did he do earth moving work to take the stumps out?
No, it looks like he just pulled the stumps.
Yeah.
Just pulled them. Where'd they go?
They were still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Bill Rowinski, the nature of the complaint at the moment is the activity on a scenic road, being Quarry Road. So any activity that may have happened in the interior of the property has not been looked at, and there's been no official complaints about it yet. That doesn't mean nothing happened. There's further action that's, I believe, is progressing or was proposed to progress in Pomfret also. And I have no idea where that is at also.
Do you think work was done in Pomfret also by Mr.
Yes,
Sheldon?
it absolutely was. In fact, he
Yes.
claims most of his work he claims was in Pomfret, which is, convenient because it was Woodstock making the complaint.
Mm.
Do they abut each other,
What?
the properties?
His property extends into Pomfret.
Okay.
So he owns property in both towns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And he also
it's the
did some
same-
work on adjacent properties, some Wyndham Land Trust property, which he had gotten some initial permission on as well.
And
Alleged-
so they
oh,
same property just crosses the line.
Yeah, if you'd like, I can show you the map of that.
Yeah,
Maybe I
does the Woodstock Pomfret line run parallel to the Quarry Road? I haven't looked at a map lately, so I don't know where the property
Yeah.
line, Pomfret and Woodstock begins.
Maybe it'll come up. There we go. So Are you guys caught up? Can you see the screen?
Yep.
Yep.
So this is the halfway here. This is the black dotted line is the town line. Woodstock is to north, Pomfret is to the south. Here's Quarry Road, the double orange. This is Mr. Sheldon's property. So Quarry Road dives down into Pomfret along his frontage.
Okay, yeah.
So at any rate, this is continuing at least until Thursday. It seems unlikely that Mr. Sheldon is going to have all of his documentation in place by then, so they're most likely going to continue it into January. But there will be a hearing.
But we also don't really know what the existing conditions were before he started.
Right. There was no before pictures taken.
Yeah. So it's very difficult to determine what, if any, violations occurred. You know, and the boundaries for some of the properties might not be fully surveyed. The Wyndham Land Trust property is surveyed. I don't know if they're on the land records or been submitted on the land records, but I know they've been surveyed. As far as any other ones, I know there's some boundaries there that are kind of up in the atmosphere that are not very definite.
Well, one of the issues could be as well, if work was done, what I noticed was at the edge of the road, which was adjacent to wetlands, as you see on the southeast diagonal alongside Quarry Road, but where the boundary of the town road extends past the road lines, probably about 6 lot. Well, from the center of the road, it's probably about 20 feet. So he might have been on town property, if that is the case.
Right. We do have the statement from both the first selectman and the highway foreman that, no damage has been done to the road and it's in relatively, decent or comparable shape before and after.
Yeah.
It's really the issue is, the seeking retroactive, permission / forgiveness rather than actually proactively asking for permission. And the commission and the town generally is grappling with the lack of enforcement ability in the scenic road ordinance. But that's probably going to be addressed at a town meeting in January or February.
So, John, I see that according to the GIS that the property is actually owned by Kings Highway Farm LLC.
That's Brian's LLC.
Okay. And he's the managing member of that LLC?
He is the sole member, yeah.
Okay. All right. And it looks like there is a significantly sized wetland system that spans between both Woodstock and Pomfret.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's something that's a deep marsh. Judging from the aerial photography, it's not a swamp. It looks like it's a marsh. Could be cattail marshes or shrub swamp. It actually looks more like a shrub swamp according to the aerial. And that, I doubt that he could have gotten in there because that's going to be pretty damn wet. But there's a water course that comes down from the north. And I'm not sure how far up that water course starts. I don't see it on the topography layers.
There are some road crossings.
Are there internal to the property?
Yeah.
No, crossings of Quarry Road.
Yeah.
Oh. No, I'm looking at where the water course originated, and it looks like it starts from a wetland system that's up to the northwest corner of his property. There looks like there's a wetland system in the woods. You see your little icon, the little flag. You go to the left of that, up in the upper left-hand corner of the lot there.
Yeah.
That's where the system originates, that drains down to the south towards the Putnam. And if you turn on the LiDAR, if you turn on the topography, you can actually see where the deep marshes are. If you scroll in, scroll in. Keep scrolling in. A little further. Okay, now move your.
Are we going south into
You're on the
Pomfret?
wrong. You're in Pomfret. You got to go
Yeah.
north. His property's north. See the yellow line? That's his property. The yellow
Yeah, no,
line.
I see it. I just don't know where you're
Yeah.
directing me,
So he's
Marla.
got a huge wetland system. He's got a couple of systems that look like they're in there, based upon the vegetation that I'm looking at.
That's why we asked him for a map.
Yeah. What kind of map are you asking him to have the soils delineated by a soil scientist? What kind of map?
Yeah, a map delineating the wetlands in the area of activity.
Is he doing that with using a soil scientist, or is he?
He hasn't
Is
done
he just
anything
gonna
yet, so
take-
I do not know.
What did the planning and zoning require of him?
A wetlands map showing the wetlands in the area of his activity.
And I was going through I think I went through the zoning regulations. This would be under zoning, or is this under?
No,
Yeah, this
it is
would
an
have to be under.
ordinance it is an ordinance that assigns activity on a scenic road to the Planning and Zoning Commission to review. It is not a regulation.
So they don't have regulations. It's to say what they needed to have.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, one of the things that I've been trying to find is there is satellite imagery that's not, it's hard to get to. It's complicated to get to, but a couple of months ago, I started looking for current satellite imagery, as opposed to the 2023, which we're looking at. The area photograph that you've got there is 2023. And I was looking for something that was more contemporaneous, and I haven't been able to locate how I can download it. They're really huge files. These are from satellites going across in the sky, and there are ways to acquire them. So I think we don't always. I'm hoping to find a way to be able to document these without actually walking on the land, because we don't have any permission. And Mr. Sheldon will never give an agent permission to walk on his land. At least I don't think so, based upon my dealings with him in Thompson, when he owned Bull Hill, a lot of Bull Hill. And then there. All right. Enough said of that.
So that's my agent report.
Well, at this point, from a wetland standpoint, nothing has been particularly implied or explicitly stated of wetlands violations other than the activity on the scenic road. If there's anything in the interior that we don't know anything about and nobody has officially made a complaint about, as far as we know. That doesn't mean that nothing happened, but nothing official has come by yet.
Or nothing is happening. There is work that looks like it's on property. A lot of heavy equipment storage and stuff. There's probably things that we can only guess. You can't see from satellite, but unless you had access, you wouldn't know. But you can see that there is an excavator stored off, looking like some kind of a storage yard. But really, it's just a drive-through. All you can do is look from the road.
So I would like to move along, if we could, at this point. Next thing, to look at the schedule of meetings for 2026. We could look at that. I've already looked at it. I didn't find any issues with it. I don't know if anybody else would like to bring any objections to those meeting dates,
I have none.
so that we can submit.
I
Anybody
move
else?
I move we accept the list as presented, and looks like a busy year.
So this list has to go to the town clerk so she can submit it to the Secretary of State. And that's why it has to be usually in by December 1st.
Oops.
Because she has to have it delivered by the end of the year.
Well, let's at least officially approve it tonight,
Yeah.
so.
I second Kathy's motion to approve
Okay,
the.
we have motion by Kathy Barrick and second by Marla Butts to approve the schedule of meetings for 2026 as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? So the motion carries. Those also have to be submitted to the town clerk. So John, could either you or Tracy, or is that already gone?
No,
on
we
it
will,
anyways?
we'll submit it tomorrow. And we
Okay.
actually technically have until January, because as you note on this schedule and the previous year's schedule, you approved the January of the following year. So you've just approved through January 2027. So we have some
Yeah.
time. It's not late.
Oh, good.
Okay. John, any correspondence?
I just threw in a copy of the Habitat for people who are interested, the Kakiwik publication, but that was the only item of correspondence.
Wow.
So you're welcome to view and download if you'd like.
Okay. As far as financial report, there's a few things that have already come out that's not currently up to date. I got reimbursed for conference and for mileage. So I was requested to submit a budget proposal for the 26-27 year. And I've said that I didn't post it here. It was basically requested no increase, but I asked for increases pretty much across the board anyways, because we can't just keep going on with very little or working at the limit. There's a lot of things that need to be provided for. The notices, we overspent last year, and we're probably going to be, with the amount of activity we keep getting, we're probably going to be close this year. So Marla and I have had some conversation about future budgeting, and I don't want to take the time up at the moment unless Marla would like to make a comment. We would basically like to see some more money for wetland staffing, and need to discuss how that comes about. And the budget for wetland staffing has been bouncing around for a number of years for many different categories. So it'd be nice if it stayed in one place so it could be tracked better. Am I missing anything, Marla? Is something else you want to talk about on that?
Yeah, so I've been working on, I have a real problem with the way the system is set up now. You have to understand the history of it. Up until the time that Terry Bellman retired, he was the wetlands agent, and all the staffing resources came out of the building office until that time. When he left, then there was a changeover for funding. And so I'm in the process now of going through all of the old budgets and looking at how the changes were worked out. So basically, the land use department was created in fiscal year 21-22. And at that time, prior to that time, some of the staffing monies were coming out of the selectman's office. That was what I understood. But we originally had some funds for staffing before that time, for overtime, that kind of thing. That was basically used by the building office staff who supplied the staffing resources for the Wetlands Commission. Well, once they created the land use department, they started stripping things out of different places and putting it in the land use department, and then reducing the land use department's salaries amounts. So now they've got what was originally 3 positions, was wetlands agent, zoning enforcement officer, and town planner, as well as support clerical staff, is now would be under the land use department. Now, the land use department took a big hit this past fiscal year when Dan left. And I'm really concerned that they really need to really think about how they're doing their business. So, for example, why would, if our staffing comes from the land use department under the land use department's budget, then why wouldn't office supplies and legal notices and all that kind of stuff come out of the land use department? Although some may be assigned specifically for wetlands versus zoning versus planning and zoning commission, you know, like the legal notices, that kind of thing, might be a separate line item in the land use. But why would you have a separate budget for the Inland Wetlands Agency and the Planning and Zoning Commission and the town planner? Well, there isn't any for the town planner anymore because it's all in the land use department. So I really think you have to take a look at the way the budgets are for those four different functions: the wetlands agent, the zoning enforcement officer, the town planner, the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the Inland Wetlands Commission, and maybe even the ZBA. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten that far yet. But I don't understand why we have supplies for planning and zoning, supplies for inland wetlands, and then supplies for the land use office when it's all being handled out of the land use office, when our staffing is handled out of the land use office. So I'm wondering, by the creation of the land use department in fiscal year 2021-2022, whether it made the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Inland Wetlands Agency kind of irrelevant if they could put it all under one page. Because then you're supporting all land use functions and they can play around with those funds to some extent within those. Because we really don't have a budget, much of a budget when you look at it. All we have is some travel, some conferences, and some legal notices and some office supplies. That's all we really have. So why aren't they consolidated? If it's all out of, if all of our staffing comes out of the land use office, then all of the other stuff will come out of the land use office.
I just submitted for the ZBA and I put in extras. They want to cut, I added. So I did the opposite of what they wanted because we have to anticipate, we do not know how many instances are going to come before the board. We do not know, as continuing education becomes more of a stringent requirement, that will have costs associated. We do not know what they are right now. We've got to put in allowances for these kind of activities to happen. So we should be thinking of that in terms of allowances that we've got to be able to function. And
but is ZBA covered by the land use office, John?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why are there separate pages for these different commissions if it's all being handled by the land use office? It seems like smoke and mirrors to me.
For the most part, I think it covers the commission specific expenses like trainings or mileage.
But that could be a line item in the land use office. Wetlands training, planning and zoning training. Why would you have a separate line item for them? I mean, that's the direction that I'm going in. It doesn't make sense to me. And so we kind of got nickeled and dimed away in the last 5 years with the changes from the building office to separate office by itself, with sources coming from the selectman's office, now coming from the land use office. So if you have a clerical for planning and zoning and inland wetlands and ZBA, do you think that's a part-time job that's only 20 hours a week? I mean,
well,
and
I think
John,
I would guess, Marla, that it's their strategy to nickel and dime, to make those nickel and dime cuts. But they have to be made aware of, if they do that, they've got to have a contingency, for when we do face those challenges, because otherwise they're going to be liable.
well, when it comes to the wetlands law, if we don't have the staff to process the wetlands applications, those applications can be submitted to DEP. DEP can process them and back charge the town the cost of processing those applications. They can't do that for planning and zoning, but they can do that for inland wetlands.
They should know that. They probably don't.
They don't know. I suspect they don't know. So part of what I'm doing is I'm trying to, what I would like to do is when I get done drafting this discussion about the funding and stuff, I would forward it to each commission member, each agency member, and just to let you know which direction I'm going in. And I'm thinking I might do what I did 5 years ago when Terry left, is to go to the Board of Finance and say, look, this doesn't seem right, and go to the Board of Selectmen and say, this doesn't seem right. And you keep saying you want it at the same levels, but they've cut it so much from last year. And now we've just, by the way, I just got my new tax bill, not tax bill, my new assessment.
Yeah.
I've gone quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the mill rate's going to be. I don't know what my taxes are going to be, but I think we have to make a stand if we want to have support. I've seen a lot of errors coming out of the land use office. And John, I think it's because you don't have enough time to do all the work that you have to do. And I don't think Tracy has enough. Tracy told, when I called her and asked her about, wanting to come in to talk about office operations, and she said I should just talk to you because all she does is receives the applications and passes them on to you. So she really doesn't do anything on the website. She doesn't do anything. I'm not sure what she does. So she could be a great support to you for wetlands work, but I don't know what her job duties are anymore. I don't know what I know what yours are, but I don't know what hers are. And I suspect that we need to have some discussions about how the office actually operates.
Is this
so that
dealt through the Board of Finance or what?
The Board of Selectmen present a budget to the Board of Finance, but the Board of Finance are the ones that put it out to hearing.
Who makes the estimates of what each board costs are? And because that's really what it comes down to is they balance what the actual costs are with estimates of what it's going to be. And those estimates are totally not well-founded.
I suspect it's the Board of Selectmen that presents a budget to the Board of Finance. I believe that's how it works.
It's the Board of Selectmen that
Board of Selectmen submits their budget, the general governmental budget, to the Board of Finance. The Board of Finance.
Who's actually crunching the numbers?
I would guess maybe the Finance Office in consultation with the Board of Selectmen. And then they're bringing it to the Board of Finance, and the Board of Finance can adjust it and modify it to go out to public hearing. And who actually brings it before the voters to vote on? I'm not sure if it's the Board of Finance or the Board of Selectmen. I'm not sure how that all works.
Well, there has to be a discrepancy between the estimate of what they are producing and what the actual costs are. That's my concern. That's what you're voicing, is that discrepancy between the two is what we're going to be facing, because we're going to be, drying up. We're not going to have the resources. That's it.
Yep. And you're going to see the errors are going to get made.
Yeah.
And I think there needs to be more staffing support, more funding for staffing, regardless. Because I estimated that the wetlands agent should be about 15 hours a week. If you want to provide guidance to the public, if you want to have your applications reviewed and so that information is clear, is correctly identified, if somebody's missing a site plan, John would have the time to tell, well, if John or the agent, whatever, whoever it was, has to have the time to be able to educate the public, coordinate with the public, help the public get to the point where they are coming before us with ripe applications. We're getting applications that John I don't think would have the time to do. He's only got 6 hours a week for wetland stuff.
Well, this is going to put more weight on the volunteers to spend their time like we're doing now. We're 3 hours in, and that's just not right.
So what is our time worth?
Sorry.
I don't know. So anyways, that's enough said. I'll send you stuff via email when I get it done. I'm not completed yet with it, but I'm getting close. And I think my initial argument is going to be made to the Board of Selectmen, because this is a personal opinion that I have as a citizen about when we come down to a point in time where development starts to pick up here, we're not going to be prepared to handle it. I'm looking at all the things that need to be done, protocols for office operations, different things like the regulations, the inland wetlands regulations, our outreach to the public. to educate the public on what to expect. A lot of that would be the agent's responsibility, not the commission, not the agency members' responsibility, but that's falling to us because there isn't enough time in the day to have all that stuff done by the staffing that we have.
And it sure is
Can't be
needed. I mean, just all the people that we saw today. I mean, so many of them don't know exactly what they should be doing, what they need to fill out. I mean, if we had some better education for the public, you know, maybe we wouldn't have those kind of things happen where people don't know what they need to be submitting or doing or whatever.
And that takes time and resources. So anyways, enough said. I think you had something on a document Bill, that was posted dealing with advice to the public, and it wasn't on the agenda, but it could have been covered under correspondence, or was it? Was it? Yeah, it wasn't on the agenda, and it was the file dealing with my advice to the public that I drafted that I sent to everybody. If we could do that, go through that.
Yeah, when I clicked on draft IWWA application forms, it opened that document. Advice.
Right. I was under the wetlands forms. But if I might, Mr. Chair, just make one quick comment about the previous discussion. I would just ask Marla can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I would just ask Marla or any other member of the Wetlands Commission who is speaking as a member rather than speaking with the voice of the full commission or a member of the public to make that clear. Because individual members who are not in the position of speaking for the commission should not be directing staff.
Okay, so let me get it straight. So if I come and talk to you about stuff that's going on, that it really has to come from Bill?
If you are
directing me
to if you're directing me to do something, it should come from the commission.
From the commission as a whole.
Correct.
If it's outside of the things, you know, hey, could you send me that email or something like that? That's different. But coming in and proposing to change procedures or rearrange file cabinets is something that's exceeding something that a commissioner should request.
Okay, so we have a special meeting that we're going to try to set up for January, if I recall, to talk about the application forms. Could we add to that agenda a discussion of office operations?
Oh,
so that we could have.
We could try. I mean, could be a long meeting.
Is that going to be a Zoom meeting or an in-person meeting?
No, in person. In person. That's what we agreed upon.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be good. You know, tonight it was just even, you know, incidental to have that confusion about the applicant and owner signature.
Well, I think part of that is because there's not enough time in the day for John to get all the stuff done that he needs to do. It's difficult for him.
Yeah.
It's too much. That's why we need to get additional support staff.
Well,
anyways.
We've got to get the point across is that it's not going to get simpler. It's going to get more complex.
As time goes on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So could John, when you see you're going to click on that? Yeah. I would like to have this sent. First, I'd like to have it posted on the website for the, you know, on our resources, our advice resources portion. It's not there now. And this is one that was similar to one that's in Thompson, but this has been ginned up for Woodstock. And I would like to get the agency's approval to have this posted on its website and to send it to all of the lake associations, the taxing districts, with a request that they include it in their any correspondence that they send out to their tax members, so that more people get the understanding And I'm wondering whether or not you want to have included in this that any portion, anybody that's it says any work beyond the high water mark that is in the lake for either Witches Woods, Lake Bungay, or Quonset Lake, a written approval from the respective lake association granting the applicant the permission to do work on the association's property needs to be included in the permit application. That kind of thing, if we ask them to send it out to their respective members, that might assist us in avoiding some of the stuff we're having like we had tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to have an effect till next fall, but.
I would like to propose that we discuss this further in more detail at our special meeting in January.
Okay.
As part of the application discussion.
Mhm.
So can we
Okay.
look
I
at a
second
date
that.
for January to have our special meeting? Is a Monday still good, or would you somebody like a different day, or I don't have my calendar.
Well, I thought
here.
Tracy was going to look to see what rooms we could have available.
Yeah.
At least that's what I thought was on the minutes that we approved, that Tracy would look to see if there was a particular day that we could use, like what we used, room A last time when we had a special meeting?
Was it? No,
Room A
that was
downstairs?
we were in the biggest,
See? No, we were in the little room.
Yes,
We
so
used
I think
both
it's
of, we used both of them.
Oh, we
used
did?
both of them.
Okay.
yeah.
I would like a smaller room, one of the smaller rooms. What is that, C? Where the Board of Selectmen meet. Do they meet in C?
That's
Room
A.
C? That's A, yeah, okay. So if,
Yeah, that's
I don't know when they're open, when they're available. And do you want to do it in the evening or can you do it during the day? I'm available.
I can't do it during.
Okay,
I'm still working, so.
lucky
Good.
guy.
Sorry.
Enjoy it.
All right.
So you
So
want to
what-
look for the third week in January, the week of the 18th?
Okay, let me
See
look.
if we can get.
I'm having hip surgery on January 21st, so I'll be out of the picture that week.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Hip replacement surgery.
Yeah.
I had my left one done in 2020, just before COVID hit. And now the right one is pretty much shot and I'm in a lot of pain, so I'm having my right
yeah.
hip replacement. Yeah.
Do you,
And I prefer not
Depends-
Mondays because I have another commitment on the other Monday nights of the month. So
Well, let's work to your schedule, Mark, whatever works best for you.
yeah.
I only have a possibility of a zoning on would be the 20th, 21st, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's when
And
I'm
what
having my
about
hip
the-
surgery. Yeah.
Yeah.
how about the
So-
week of the 12th? The week above that.
That's fine with me as long as there's something that can be put together for a date and a room.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Mark? How about the week of the 12th?
Week of the 12th. Yeah, I could do the 14th.
That's a
14th
Wednesday.
or the 16th, which is a Friday.
Oh,
Wednesday or Friday? Well, I like, 14th would be better. What about you, Kathy?
I'm pretty much clear either one of those weeks. I might have a dentist appointment and a couple other dumb things, but I've being retired, I'm willing to work around anybody else's schedule, anybody that needs.
So will I. So,
Yep.
well, I don't, the 14th works for me. It works for Mark. It works for Stu.
yep, that's the 15th, right? I mean, that's a Wednesday.
Right.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
that's a Wednesday. So the question is, can we find a room? So that's just whether or not there's a room available.
Yeah.
For the 14th.
What
When do you
time?
want to meet? Last time we met at 6. We met earlier.
that's fine. Probably got to be out by 10 anyway, so hopefully you won't go that long.
Oh, yeah.
You wish.
We gotta be out by
And
now.
then the other question is recording secretary? Do you want me to be the recording secretary for that meeting? Or do you want to have a separate recording secretary?
I don't know that we'll have an official recording secretary by that time. Dottie's filling in and they'll be looking for somebody else for January.
All right. So if not, we just have to find a recording device to record the minutes and record the meeting.
So
And I no
we're looking
longer
for
have access.
Yeah.
Do they
So
have to be
January 4th.
recorded? Do they have to be recorded?
I prefer it be recorded so that we have that
Okay.
information. The minutes don't have to be real complicated because
Yeah,
we probably
simply-
only make
Right.
a few decisions. But all
Well,
right.
we put it together an agenda. We ought to be able to work off of that.
John, do we have any
All right.
other than Dottie? We don't have anybody else in the queue? Do you
What
know?
happened to,
Because-
what happened to Leanne?
Leanne resigned.
Oh,
She was overwhelmed.
yeah.
I can't imagine why.
We put it out there. I think they're checking with other towns that have good recording secretaries, and they're checking with people who do other commissions, which I think is how Dottie was shanghaied back into doing this one, because she's helping out with a couple of other commissions on an interim basis. But we're beating the bushes.
All right.
So if we can't get a recording secretary for the 14th, I'll try to get a recording device and
the town has recording devices.
yeah, then I'll do the minutes then for that.
Yeah.
If we can't find anybody else.
I've done them on my phone before also, so.
That's right, you did.
The agenda for that will be the review of the applications. We'll put the proposed new application and the advice document. And that will be it for the agenda. I will try to contact Tracy tomorrow and see if she can track down something for that date, and then I'll propose a agenda for it.
Bill, I've just sent an email to Crystal and Tracy looking to book a room for that time.
Oh, okay,
Great.
so then I don't need to do that then.
That'd be efficient.
Okay. So the only other thing I want to add at this point is that we have potentially new member, somebody named Grace Letty has inquired about volunteering for the Wetlands Commission. I contacted her by email tonight. We'll need some more discussion, and she'll have to submit the application to the selectmen for that. So we have a potential additional member.
What's
Would
her
that be
name?
member or alternate?
She would.
What's her name, Bill?
She would. Yeah, she would have to be an alternate, right?
Grace Luddy, Luddy.
Oh, okay.
No, don't we have a full? On all the full?
I think we have a full roster of members.
You think we have a full roster of members? Oh, okay.
Oh, we have provision for 2 alternates, I believe.
That's what it says on the website.
Remember, we have Mark just because he agrees to agree to stay.
Yeah.
So he could become an alternate. He could, if he decides that it's just too much.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, if you can get her to come on as a
have the
full,
other
I'd
person
like to go
serve.
to an alternate.
Oh, no.
All right. Does anybody have anything vitally important that we need to discuss in addition tonight?
I move we move to item number 9 and keep moving.
I second.
Any citizens? I see Mr. Gabrielle is still on. Does he want to make any comments?
Is he still on, or did he just forget to walk away and just forget to?
Maybe, yeah, he might just be logged on. Oh, there he is. He's still there. He's been listening.
Gabrielle.
No comments.
No
We didn't
comment.
hear
Okay.
any snoring.
There's
Who seconded that?
there's another seat available, Mr. Gabrielle.
Who seconded the motion to adjourn?
I
I
move. Yeah, I second. We adjourn.
Everybody.
No, you first. You did the first. Mark, you were the first. Who was the second?
I seconded it.
Oh, Stu. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed or abstain? The motion passes. And I would like to thank Dottie Durst